All right. I think we're live. Let me just make sure everything's live on my page here. Just because it takes a little bit of time between when I press the button and to when it actually starts up. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, we are definitely live now. Oh, what's up, everyone? OJ over here from Player Essence. Welcome to another PE Live. Today, we got an interesting one because we're going to have a guest for the first part of the discussion. And then we're going to talk about some other things as well when it comes to the Nintendo Switch and kind of his thoughts on a video that I made recently. I do have here Mizzah T. How you doing today, Mizzah T?
What's up? What's up?
Oh, oh, your camera's working now.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Okay, cool, because it wasn't working beforehand. So basically, what we're going to be talking about here today, guys. I already saw some people saying, "Is this a debate or it's a discussion?" I don't really think that this is a debate because I don't necessarily have an issue with T's video. I think basically. I think he kind of misrepresented my points in terms of what I was trying to say. So I wanted to kind of talk about things, clear things up, because the video that I did, it was a small segment. I think about 6 minutes. And Mizzah T's video was 24 minutes, about my 6 minute part of one of my OJ Speaks videos. So we're going to talk about that. I kind of wanted to understand where he was coming from. Because like I said, I watched his response video. Make sure you guys check out Mizzah T's channel. Make sure you guys check it out. Good channel. But I watched that twice. So I wanted to ask a couple questions based on that and kind of his thoughts on the Switch, the future, ports, all of that stuff. So it's always good. It's always good to have somebody who necessarily might not agree with you, so you don't live in an echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, Mr. T, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I can't complain too much, my man. I can't complain too much. All right, and we'll take some questions towards the end. Towards the end, we'll take a little bit of questions. All right. So let's go ahead and start up here. So basically, to set up the premise about all of this and kind of what was going down. Recently, I made a video on my channel, which was OJ Speaks video, basically like a new segment, more like an OJ discussion. And I talked about why some people talk about like why is there ports on the Nintendo Switch. So necessarily not that like they were good or bad or anything, or just like why are we getting them on the Nintendo Switch, and my personal opinion on ports in addition to new games, in addition to everything. And it seems like Mizzah T, you took some issue with what I was saying there. And like I said, my video, the part about ports was 6 minutes. And your response video was 24 minutes, so it was a lot for me to
Let me
digest.
stop you right there. It wasn't a response video to you specifically. I had already was working on the video, and then your video happened to drop, and so I added because there's specific points I make against the points you made in your video, and that's what I added in.
Okay.
So,
Okay. No
to
problem.
my overall script of it. So just to let you know, it wasn't a direct response. I even say it in the video, like this is not directly at one person. This is about people in general who have an issue with my point of view on it. So it wasn't directly just you.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the thing. Like, I don't really have a problem with your point of view on what you think is like ports or great or whatever the case is. I don't have a problem with that. That's the thing. I've never made any video like, because you've made videos upset about this port or that port. And
This isn't the first video I made about it, so it's not like a response to you, because I've made a few videos about this. I get comments, I get direct messages and all kinds of stuff about this stuff from subscribers, whoever who don't like me talking about it. So
well, the thumbnail definitely harkened back to my
well, yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, that was, obviously that was a reference to you on, like I said, specific things that you were talking about.
Okay. So some people are saying that there's no sound on your end, that we can't hear.
Really?
Oh, well, they're saying that they can't hear me, or they can't. I'm pretty sure that.
I see both of our levels showing green.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said too. 12 feet tall says, okay, it's been fixed. I don't think there was. I think that was on your end, my man. Anyway,
and we can hear each other, obviously. So
yeah, and I can see all my levels on here, so everything's working fine. But let's see here. Let's see. There's sound, but the screen freezes at times. Okay, the screen freezes at times for some people. Okay, go ahead and
probably mine.
Okay, go ahead and refresh the stream, guys. If you're having some issues, go ahead and refresh the stream, and it should help out with that. So just go ahead and refresh the stream. and maybe you'll be okay with that. So so let's go ahead and talk about some of these the issues that you had. Go ahead and lay out what issue did you actually have, and I like I said I already know what it was, but for the chat who didn't get to see the video, what issues did you actually partake with that? With what I said recently.
Well, specifically from the video, it was the basically the idea that ports don't affect new games. And again, in my video, I laid out how ports can affect new games, and specifically like a Mario Kart 9. Mario Kart 8 sold very well on Wii U. It oversold its install base. It over what do you call it?
Surpassed.
Yeah, it surpassed basically what it should have done on that install base. So it did very well, and that should have meant we got a port, and that's the history of Nintendo. Again, I'm holding Nintendo to their own history. So if you look at, outside of the Wii, which was an anomaly, I mean, you had games on that system selling 20 million plus units, which, doesn't happen on anybody's console. But outside of that, Mario Kart sold along the lines of where it usually sells, even with the small install base of the Wii U. And there is no reason we shouldn't have gotten a sequel to that, especially like I said, after the good sales of it. So the port situation, obviously the Mario Kart team was working on ARMS, but they were working on ARMS because they knew they wouldn't be working on Mario Kart because they were porting it basically. So that is a situation where a port directly affects a new game.
Is that factual though? Like, did they say that? Or is that just your
Well, it's no more factual than assuming it doesn't. Like, these are my opinions. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
for the most part.
that's what I talk about. Like when I talk about discussion videos and all that, I usually like to sway on the side of like actually what we do know. For me to look at it and say, oh well, the port affected us getting a new one. They made a new game. Like they made a new game in that same time frame. So I don't see how that all of a sudden makes it to where, oh, we don't get Mario Kart 9. Mario Kart 9 is going to take a lot more time to develop than a simple port. So even if they were going to say, okay, Mario Kart 9 is coming, would it have been ready at that point? I mean, you saw how long it took to make Mario Kart 8. They talked about making that game for 6 years for Mario Kart 8, and that's well documented that game was in development for a very long time. So when I look at it from my point of view, I don't really see
Mario Kart 7. It wasn't too much before or too much after Mario Kart 7.
Well, what I'm saying is that like that game was still in development for a long time. They were developing that game in particular. They did have external studios help out with Mario Kart 7 as well, like Retro Studios, for example. So what I'm seeing is that I don't really see any like direct evidence outside of just, okay, well, maybe that's your opinion on it, but they gave us a new game in that same year. So I don't really see it as too much of a problem. Now, let's just say, hey, there's no new game from the Mario Kart team, and all they're doing is riding on that port, then, you know what, I got you, you know what I'm saying? And I still understand your point I still understand your point, what you're saying here. And yeah, I mean, maybe, but when I'm talking about it to people when it comes to like OJ Speaks and my opinion on or my take on things, I kind of look at it from a factual point of view and say, well, we got a brand new IP from them. And ports don't take super long to make. I mean, it's not like they were like working on this for years and years and years. They could just want to take more time with the new Mario Kart to have a completely new hook to the game and something that's completely different to the game. So that's the reason why they said, hey, let's just port this down and let's take a little bit more time to get Mario Kart when we need to get Mario Kart out. I mean, it could go both ways. That's basically what I was.
Okay, well, that's speculation, and so is what I was saying. Again, it's my YouTube channel, so I'm putting out opinion. If I say this is a fact, I have hard evidence of blah, 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 then I would say that. But you said in your video that they don't. You outright said they don't affect.
And I don't see anything. There's no factual information that says that they don't. It's just speculation on your end. There's what's fact is that we got a brand new game.
Can we agree then?
What's fact is that we got a brand new game from them. You know what I'm saying? So I can see that's fine. If it's your opinion, you think that it affects it does. But I'm talking facts when I talk about OJ Speaks. So to my users, it's fact that I haven't seen any type of port that's been affecting a new game or anything because they gave us a new game. You know, they actually gave us a new game. So that's
But
factual
but
information.
my
So
video, I was specifically talking about sequels.
sequel, you're specifically talking about sequels, and
Yeah,
I
in my video, I was specifically saying Mario Kart 8 being ported is going to directly affect Mario Kart 9, and that was the same thing I was saying about Super Smash Brothers because everybody, thought we were going to get Super Smash Brothers Wii U Deluxe or whatever. That was the rumors forever. That didn't happen, and I think we got a better game out of it. We got Ultimate because of that. But had they just ported Smash Brothers Wii U, would we had Smash Brothers? No, we wouldn't have gotten Ultimate this. So that is a direct effect of porting something over.
well, that would only be that like a comparison would only make sense if Bandai Namco and Sakurai also put out another game. If you're trying to compare it to the whole Mario Kart situation, so would have Sakurai put out another game in that same time frame? Then I say okay, I agree with you because there's another new game from Bandai Namco and Sakurai, just like the ARMS and Mario Kart or the Mario Kart team put out a new game in that same year. So I would agree with you there if there was another game, but there wasn't. That was the game that they were working on. That was the new game that they had. So I agree with your point. Only if you're going to compare the two, then you need to make sure that it's the same stipulation because the Mario Kart team put out a brand new IP in that same year. So you're saying that it affects things, but we still got a new.
Specifically talking about
Yeah,
in the video again. I was
sequel.
specifically talking about affecting sequels.
Yeah, and I
To
and I
game.
and I
If you put
understand.
out that game, then you're not going to get a sequel to that game in the foreseeable future. Especially Mario Kart, because how many Mario Karts do we get a generation? If you look at Nintendo's history, we get one, and this one is selling really well. So by the time we get another one on console, we're talking maybe 7 years. So we're playing Mario Karts, 8 for maybe 7 years by the time we get a new one.
Okay,
And I
well,
guess you can count Mario Kart, the mobile one, if you want to do that.
okay, well,
That's
I guess we can just, well, like I've said before, we can just agree to disagree on that one.
yeah,
I'm not,
yeah. I mean,
yeah, I'm not seeing any evidence of them saying, oh, well, it pushes this back because of this port. I haven't seen any evidence of it, direct evidence. So I'm looking at them putting out a new game in that same time frame and saying, hey, this is what they're working on. Now they're going to go back and maybe make Mario Kart 9 even better than what it was going to be. I mean, maybe it's even way better than what it was. I mean, if they rushed it or if they said, let's just go in and get something out right now, would it have been as good of a game? I'm not so sure. And that's why I'm saying, like, the whole speculation on this is we don't know. We're not inside the development studio. We don't know what ideas they have or how much time they need. So, I mean, maybe they say, hey, you know what? Let's get it out in, this year. Maybe it's not as good of a game. I mean, we saw that with Fire Emblem, right? Fire Emblem was supposed to come out 2018. They said, there's some things that we need to work
right.
on. We need some more time. Let's push it back. So, I mean, it could have been the same situation here. I'm not sure if anything else affects that. I mean, they did. How many games did they make? They made Heroes and they made not Order of Ecclesia. They made Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, in the same span of when they're making Fire Emblem Three Houses. And if they need more time, then they need more time. Or if they want to do something, but you can still make games, and still have. I just don't see how it directly affects factual information. But like I said, it's your opinion on that, and that's cool.
Right. And I'm making, my YouTube video, which is going to be my opinion. I don't know why people have a problem with people making opinions on their opinion videos. It's not the first one I've had. And again, I only have a problem when people dismiss an opinion outright as if they have facts to back up, their opinion being a fact. That's the only time this is YouTube. This is what we do, like that's one of the main things we do here is we state how we feel about something. And that's what I'm doing. And I have no problem with anybody's opinion. If your opinion is different from mine, fine. I have no problem with that. But I hate when people dismiss your opinion as if their opinion is fact. That's what I was feeling from, what you were saying.
That I'm dismissing other people's. How so?
Well, based like we just talked about, like the Mario, the situation where a port doesn't affect new games or a new game in the series,
Oh,
which
it
was I was
could.
talking about.
It
But
could.
you said it doesn't.
But
You
in this
outright said it
situations,
doesn't.
it's not. In the situations that I've seen so far, it's definitely not. There's not any information out there that says that because we got a new game from the same development team. that's what they were working on. They wanted to do a new IP. It's very difficult to make new IPs, especially online ones like that. At the launch of a system, so to me, they were working on ARMS. They had a content schedule set and planned out for it. So that's the reason why I said it's not affecting it, because I didn't see anything that did factual information. So I mean, that's the reason why. It's not to dismiss your opinion. I mean, if you still feel that, I'm just talking about from a factual opinion that I can sit here and say, hey guys, this is what I think based on what we do know. It's not affecting it because we got a brand new game that same year. That's the reason why it's not. I mean, if you still want to think that, that's fine. That's completely fine if you do, but it's not dismissing your opinion. I'm just going off of facts, that what we do know factually, not speculation on this or that. Like I said, if ARMS didn't come out in 2017, I'd 100%, I probably 100% agree with you with that opinion of yours that it affects the next game, because it's like, oh wait a minute, all we got was a port. We didn't get anything else. We didn't get anything else from there. But the fact that the same team worked on a new game, that's what makes me say, well, this is what they were working on, and maybe they needed more time to do something else, No Filter Podcast, he says, yeah, it actually is factual based on the information that is known. So that makes it factual. This is what we know, so that makes it factual. It's not
in this one again, we're talking instances here. Like every Nintendo console here, I can use history again. Every Nintendo console since Super Nintendo, when we got Mario Kart started, every Nintendo console has had a Super Mario Kart, a new Mario Kart in the first couple of years. We're not getting that. That's also factual.
That we're not
that's
getting
what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, but there's been a whole bunch of different things that's happened. I mean, every generation there's different things that didn't happen in the previous generation, or Nintendo's never done. I mean, we're getting a mainline Final Fantasy. I mean, like, when was the last time that's happened? So I mean, there's always things that happen in new generations that don't happen. But I'm not speculating. Some guy, No Filter Nintendo Podcast keeps on thinking I'm speculating. I'm not. Facts are Nintendo team, Mario Kart team, they were working on ARMS. That's the facts. They were working on ARMS. Plain and simple. Like I said, if there was no new game, then I'd agree. Like, yeah.
So my fact remains and your fact remains. There's no new Mario Kart because there's a port, but they also were working on ARMS. So there's no Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, that's the fact that there's no new Mario Kart, but I don't see where there's any actual factual evidence that. Like I said,
and I don't even.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to the guy in the chat. I don't see any factual evidence that says.
I don't even have a problem with ports, and specifically Mario Kart 8. I didn't have as big a problem with, because they actually gave some value to it. They put a full featured online battle mode, which is what we wanted on Wii U. We never got that, so for me, it was like, all right, well, this justifies this game being not being ported, but being a port, because it actually adds something really good and new to the game we all wanted.
Okay. So what else did you take issue with in terms of it, so the viewers can know with the video that I made?
Well, I mean, it's just the idea that, because for me, I think from a consumer standpoint, and that's where my opinions come from. So me like saying, well, they this is a great business, that does nothing for me. It only helps me if something comes out of it. And that's my main issue with Nintendo so far this generation, is that, yeah, the sales are great. They're killing it with Wii U and all this stuff. So I expect them to be better and do more, especially what I've seen in 2018. I felt like the games they were putting out weren't up to my expectations in those and those core franchises. Kirby being a big one, because I love Kirby. Kirby games have always been awesome to me, fun. And this one was such a disappointment to me. And that whole kind of let you roll out more content over the year for a Kirby game, like, to me, that it was weak sauce. And you can move into. I was super excited for. You can watch my videos. I was super excited for Mario Tennis, and then that was another game that I felt was supremely lacking. It wasn't as bad as Ultra Smash or Ultra Trash, as it's called, but it still wasn't what I felt it should be. Especially after the success Nintendo had received, because they were surprised by how successful the Switch was, at least based on what they were saying. And I expect the quality of their core franchises to be better. And so I was really soured last year,
Okay.
2018, because I felt like Nintendo core games weren't up to par.
I don't
And
have
I
an
can't
issue.
remember a time where I felt that way.
I don't have an issue with you not liking 2018, but I just want to know how's that in terms of like my video. What did I say that made you think that I was like dismissing that or any? I mean, like what did I?
Well, I
Like,
think we
what's the
already went
direct?
over why I felt like, because you stated as if it was fact. Again, we're talking about the same thing again. That sequel or new games are not affected by ports, and even to the smallest, if it is to the smallest molecule, there is some effect, and it's not as great as maybe I feel like it is, but it's not as small as maybe you feel like it is. So
Well,
I just felt like,
okay.
again,
I
that
see
for
what you're
that
saying.
main point, because I've been talking about ports. Just look at my catalog. This isn't the first video I did on ports. It wasn't a total response to you, as I said, and I don't know why people even hark on how long a video is. Like, I'm a passionate gamer, like, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna passionately talk about games.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching somebody who isn't passionate about what they're talking about, why are you watching them? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even get people talking about how long the video was or any of that stuff. I have a lot of long videos talking about a lot of things, so
Mm-hmm.
I find that to be strange. It felt like it was kind of an attack. Oh, you had to take 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever was said to respond to a guy who made a 6-minute video. I wasn't responding completely to you. That was the main
Yeah.
that's the main point I was trying to make.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I even made that point in the video itself.
yeah, and I'm looking at it when I see Nintendo's output and their lineup, and in terms of what I think in terms of quality and 2018, and compared to what you think is subjective. What I think is what I feel is great, and compared to what you think is great is subjective. So that's the reason why I don't ever try. I mean, personally, me, I don't think Mario Tennis was okay. It's not my favorite thing, but there's probably other people out there that feel that Mario Tennis is the greatest game to them ever. Same goes for Mario Party, or same goes. I mean, obviously, you don't think that that a game like Torn of the Golden Country is as good as the games that was released last year. Whereas Torn of the Golden Country to me is better than pretty much everything. Oh, sorry, 2017. Whereas Torn of the Golden Country and Octopath are pretty much better than everything that was released in 2017. So that's the reason why I try to stay away from like the direct comparisons, because quality and what people like and what people don't like is honestly at the end of the day subjective. So in my video, I said from what we've gotten so far in terms of from Nintendo compared to what they've done, it's been pretty good. The output with new games and also with third party games, just in general, just games in general, the output has been so much better and greater. I don't look at Nintendo, and T, you know this, when I talked about my biggest issues, what Nintendo needed to do. What did I always hark on with Nintendo? Third party RPGs. Where is the Japanese support? 2018 was pretty much a complete revelation for Nintendo when it comes to third party Japanese support. We have not seen support like this on a Nintendo system for RPGs in a long time. Since, like, I mean, no home console, 3DS, we got it, but there was just crazy amount of games. So to me, I'm looking at it like, whoa, we're getting Valkyria Chronicles 4, which is not a port. It's the same year as every year. We're getting Dragon Ball Fighters. We're getting that's not an RPG, but we're getting more support, Japanese support, than we've ever gotten, on top of Nintendo's games like Octopath Traveler, like Torna, like Super Smash Brothers, like Pokemon. They released 3 RPGs, first party or exclusive RPGs in 2018. To me, that's great, which to you, maybe not so great, but to me, that's great. So that's the reason why I'm looking at it like, well, I like 2018. It's my personal opinion. Not everybody agrees, but I liked it. So I'm not dismissing what other people were trying to say. I'm simply looking at 2018 and I'm like, well, I liked Octopath and Torna and Smash Brothers more than everything in 2017, you know? And that's just my
Here's
opinion,
the thing.
you know?
I'm not this. You talk about subjectivity. I'm not holding Nintendo to some standard that's my standard. I'm holding them to their own standard. I'm looking at their previous outputs in these games, like Mario Tennis, and especially the Kirby games, which I'm super familiar with. And I'm saying this game is not nearly up to par. The game, you can play the game and it can almost beat itself. And
that's fine. I just don't see how, like, you know, what you, I
that
mean, what
was
did
a
I say that, like,
disappointment for a game I was looking forward to, and my expectations of it based on the history. Again, my expectations are always based on history because with video games, I'm a huge buff of the history of video games. So my expectations are always based on it's not some wild, crazy, lofty thing that I want this game to do that it shouldn't, you know, possibly be doing. I'm always basing it on my history with the game series and the company itself. Mm-hmm. And I feel like overall, and I don't know, maybe I feel like it's based on the leadership, because this is what everybody wanted. They wanted a more business-centric, more business-minded Nintendo. And I felt we're losing that with this. Yeah, we're getting the bigger sales and all that, but we're not actually getting, for me, again, the greatest quality in the software. And we're losing the one of the Nintendo's mantras, which was value to their customers. That was a huge thing, especially Iwata used to preach that a lot. And I feel like, again, with some of these ports, they could add a lot more value, and I feel like an older Nintendo would have added that value. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, my game of the year for 2014. Love that game. Love the idea of it getting a bigger audience and more shine, but they priced it at $10 more than it was originally on the Wii U, which I don't know what the justification for that is. And this was a game that they set the market for. They marked down to $20. I didn't set that market; they did. So,
and it's
expect the price to be a little bit,
buy it. It's anybody who wants to buy the game and play it. Since obviously portability is not, it adds no value, right? Portability doesn't add value to you. It doesn't add enough. It's not worth whatever they added to it. Funky Kong, it's not worth. It's all right there, and I understand like you're saying that.
No, it's not worth $40 in value.
Yeah, well, so exactly what I'm saying. Like, if it's still there, since they valued it down, and it's still there for people to play on the Wii U, which you guys always talk about. You know, I watched the Juices, right. how great the Wii U is, and it's still out there for people to play.
But you're right. But that doesn't change the facts that they're price gouging for something that they set the market value for.
There's no
I didn't say
problem in just
yes, I can play it
version.
On blah blah blah. But that doesn't mean that it's not cool that they did that. I can still talk about the fact that they did that.
I don't even have an issue. I don't even have an issue with that. I just don't see how that necessarily pertains to, like, in terms of like my video. And I know, like you said, that there's a little bit of a correlation with Nintendo in the 2018. I don't see how that correlates to it. I'm looking at the amount of games that we've gotten from them and the amount of what they've came from third parties, and even going like in terms of like my greatness, in terms of, you know, demanding greatness. One of the things that I demanded is, like, Nintendo, go to these smaller developers, like, go to these independent developers. Make sure you get Minecraft. Make sure you get all this other junk that happened on the Wii U so much later. Or make sure that you get, like, Nippon Ichi. Like, Nippon Ichi didn't bring anything to the freaking Wii U, man. Like, they were putting stuff on PS Vita. I was like, why aren't we getting Nippon Ichi games? Why aren't we getting, like, Ghostlight games? Like, why aren't we getting all these other Japanese developers that are putting out stuff on PS3, PS Vita, PS4, and there's nothing on the Wii U? So, to me, part of the greatness was making sure that they go do that. Like, 2018 was the proof.
The Wii U didn't sell. I mean, you can want those guys. You can go to those guys and ask them for all that stuff, but the Wii U didn't sell. Look, I mean, I made a comparison about the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn sold really poorly in the West, but it sold pretty decently in the East. It was actually number 2, beating out N64 in Japan, and so Japan got a lot of games on the Saturn that we never got in the West. So that, you know, that's a big part of it, and that is the big reason we're getting more games on Switch. It's because of that. So I'm saying, hey, you guys are doing better. Why am I not getting? I feel I'm not getting better. If you look at, you know, the first year, whatever, year and a half, we got a lot of cool new experiences. And if you look at, say, the launch title of the Switch was obviously Breath of the Wild, but that was a Wii U game. Like, they ported it. I think it said it took them a year or something to port that game over. So if you look at the launch itself, it was pretty. You take away that Wii U game, it was pretty.
I see what you're saying here, T.
That year with, you know, pretty big new titles every 2 months, or, you know, every 1 or 2 months. There was a pretty big new title came out. Everybody thought Splatoon was going to be a port. Thank God it wasn't. It was Splatoon 2. And if it was Splatoon, would we have Splatoon 2? Probably not. Again, back to what I was saying. But anyway.
And what I was saying is that's what I made my point in my video, is like we're getting more new games than ports. We're getting more new games than we've gotten before. And I understand maybe you're not as happy with the value. That's fine. You're not as happy with the games.
I'm not talking about quantity. I'm talking about quality. Especially.
I think I mean, if you look at the quality's just as high, in my opinion. I mean, you named a couple games. You named like Mario Tennis. You said you're not happy with Mario Tennis and Kirby. You named a couple games, but if you look at
there wasn't much more from Nintendo themselves that year outside of the ports and outside of what I mentioned.
And I understand. I'm just saying, but if you look at the overall, from what consumers are saying, since we're talking just in general, right? It seems like the quality is just as high as it's been. I mean, we've gotten obviously Xenoblade was great. We've gotten Torna was even better in my opinion. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, super high quality game, so to me,
it was almost 2019.
Huh? Well, I mean,
the game came out in almost 2019 though.
So was Xenoblade 1 and so was Mario.
Point taken.
Mario Odyssey was also at the very end of the year as well. I mean, almost November. But like something like Super Mario Odyssey, obviously super high quality game. You're looking at, I mean, Octopath Traveler, extremely high quality game. So I'm looking at it like, we haven't had this much quality in this short amount of time in a very long time. You're always going to have some games, maybe they're not as good. Heck, we saw that with the Wii U, right? We saw that with the Wii U in the first 2 years. How many of them were like, people didn't think the quality was that great. We saw that with the Wii. Maybe this isn't quite as good, So this kind of dates back to, this is no different than anything else. And like I said, you talk about like the sales. Nintendo's sales have been so good, we've been getting more games. The reason why we're getting as many games is because of the sales. So I'm looking at all the games that they've had. I'm counting up the numbers. They've had more games. They've had super high quality games in that time frame. Not everything's going to be what everybody likes. I get that. But we're still getting more higher quality than what we got on the Wii U and on the Wii and on the N64. I mean the N64, there's no comparison with that system. There's like literally no RPGs on that system. So we got basically nothing. We had Quest, we had Ogre Battle, we had Paper Mario. We literally had
Aiden Chronicles.
There's you can count them on
Shadowgate.
You can count them on one or two hands,
I
dude.
recently put a tweet. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying there's more than what you're saying. I know the N64 was a joke when it came to RPGs. I put a tweet out a few days ago about I have exactly all of them. So I showed you how many there are. They're not many, obviously.
I'm looking here and I'm saying, well, what? How are the sales not getting us more? How are the sales? I mean, if you want to talk about, like I said, this was a combination with third party too. We're getting way more than what we've gotten before, and the quality's just as good, if not way better.
I expect that with the sales. What I'm saying is, I feel like Nintendo themselves could be doing a whole lot better than they are, and I feel like it's the sales is why they're not. I feel like they tried harder. Obviously, they didn't have enough resources to cover the Wii U the way they wanted to, but I felt like the push was there. They tried. And I don't feel like, at least in 2018, the Wii U was obviously their first HD console. There was all kinds of obstacles with that. Third parties pretty much abandoned them within the second year or before the second year. So, they were standing with their, what in their hands. They didn't have a lot of options there. But I felt like, again, we weren't getting Wii HD games.
Wizard Grunt.
They could have easily done that.
Can I respond to Wizard Grunt? There's a bunch of new Play Control GameCube games on the Wii, my man. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there are new Play.
Yeah, I don't know.
On the...
This guy's like hell bent on just disagreeing with everything that I say. I mean, my man, there's a bunch of new Play Control games that were GameCube games on the Wii. So just calm down. Just relax, calm down, my man. Before you just start blurting out stuff, just calm down and think for a second. Yeah. So anyway,
and then what I'm saying, they had to basically. Oh, let me turn that off. They had to. Even if they didn't want to, maybe they wanted to put Wii HD games on, but they had to because, we can go into a whole thing. I don't really want to get into that. You brought your video, and obviously my thumbnail and my title referenced that. So, so this is just part of what I feel. This is not just directly at you. I brought that up because again, I was responding to part of what you were saying in your video. I feel like there's a narrative of, and I said this way before the Switch started selling. I said, as soon as the Switch starts selling, this is before it was a big thing. People are going to forget about all these things they wanted on their list or what should be the case. And you yourself put out a video 2016 titled Nintendo NX Expect and Demand Greatness. And that's what I was referencing in that video. So I've had multiple issues going from the fall of last year up until now. Obviously I've talked about games before that, like Kirby and whatnot, but especially once the Nintendo Switch Online hit, I was just like, seriously?
And I also said that Nintendo should be doing they need to do more stuff there too. I mean, I never said that it was like a service that, oh my gosh, it's so great. I've been saying that every single time I talk about it. I said Nintendo needs to add stuff. So I'm with you there, man.
Okay, so I'm just going to not paraphrase it. These are direct quotes from you from that video. I'm going to keep my expectations high.
Yes.
Wii U was, I can't read my own writing sometimes when I'm writing notes. Wii U was missing what many people would consider modern features.
Yes.
Your expectations and demands as a consumer should be very high.
Yeah,
I should be emailing them and letting them know what you expect.
And I've done that as well myself.
What is it? What is the why is it that a consumer electronic past the cost of $100 range, I should expect
I think T froze on us. T froze on us. He'll probably join back in, guys. We said we're going to do this for about an hour because T's got to go in a bit. Oh, wait a minute. No, we've been only going for 37 minutes. So T will come back in. So essentially, there's a video that T's referencing and he's reading the quotes directly from there. But I don't see where this is going.
Well, Nintendo,
you're back.
Fix it.
Okay. You're back. Sorry, you were frozen for a bit, dude.
I was frozen?
Yeah, you're back now, though. Go ahead.
Oh, what? I don't know. If it deliver basic online fees, I'll be upset no matter.
Okay.
Fix this. I'm not gonna go, and I'm not gonna give them any leeway. Unlike Wii U, where I was like, okay, they'll add it later. I'm not gonna do that this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna speak from the very beginning because that's how anybody should feel as a consumer.
Okay.
And that's what I've been doing. I'm going to keep my expectations in check. I'm not going to keep my expectations in check. I'm going to keep them high.
Okay. And every single time I talk about Nintendo Switch Online, what do I bring up? How they should be doing better. How it should be doing more. I haven't stopped that from day one. Oh, I think he's frozen. He's still reading. Either way, I see where T's going with this. He's trying to make it, I guess he's trying to make it seem as if I don't think, or I haven't been saying with the Nintendo Switch Online and what they can do better with it. But if you guys have watched my channel, every time I've said that they should be adding this and they should be adding that. So I'm not exactly sure, where this part is going, to be honest. But yes, he's definitely froze. He's definitely froze again. So we'll wait till he unfreezes. Man, this man's internet. This is the reason why this man's internet is I'm not sure what's going on, dude. All right, now he's absolutely gone out of it. This man's completely gone from the room. Oh my gosh. So yeah, basically, what he's trying to what he's saying there, maybe he's kind of hinting that I'm not trying to hold Nintendo responsible for the online or things like that. But I think I've also stated many times that this was also pre-Discord era. You know what I'm saying? Like, because before, the reason why I'm like, man, they really need to make sure that they do this was because it was really hard to communicate with people that way. This was also before Twitter got big. This was also before social media was really ingrained. This is actually even before I had like a smartphone that could really get the job done. Well, I've had this one, but actually know how to use it, get the apps and everything. So for me, I've said it multiple times, like for people who don't have their own network or don't have their own, platform, yeah, Nintendo needs to make sure that they get, the voice chat and the messaging. And I've said that a million times. I don't know how many more times I have to say this, when people keep on saying that I'm not saying that. I said personally, for me personally, I'm going to be using Discord for voice chat and messaging no matter what, because I don't have my system on 24/7 looking for a freaking invite, and I don't want to message people back and forth through my system. I'm not going to do it. Even whenever they do add it, I'm never going to message anybody on my Xbox One. I'm never really going to message people. I mean, I'll say hi if somebody says hi to me, but I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth. I'm going to organize everything through Discord. The Wii U was in the pre-Discord era. If Discord was around when the Wii U was, I mean, I'd still say Nintendo needs to add certain stuff, but it would have been way better, because organizing stuff for me is easier on Discord than it is going through the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, because I can reach people when they're not on their system. That's the biggest thing, is reaching people when they're not on their system, not reaching people when they are on their system, reaching people when they're not on their system. So I mean, like I said, Nintendo still needs to add, all that stuff. And I said it a million times. I don't know why I have to keep repeating this, but I just said, for me, I'm just using Discord. That's what I'm going to use. But Nintendo needs to add this stuff. They need to. I've said it 5 billion times. I don't know why. I don't know why people are trying to act like I'm not telling Nintendo not to do this. So I don't get the discussion from that point of view, as if I'm not saying, hey, Nintendo, make sure you do this, So yeah. I'll take some questions from the chat. If you guys have questions, feel free. I know there were some people that were really in here trying to debate and trying to come in here. They came in here swinging. Like crazy. So yeah. So yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, I never said that everybody has access to. I don't know why people continue to say the same thing. I never said everybody has access to PC and all. I know that. I even said that. I said, for me. I don't know how else I can break this down, guys. Okay, let me try to break this down as clear as possible for you guys. I'm going to say it very clearly so everybody can understand. Nintendo should add all of these features so people can have that on their system. Period. That is something that Nintendo needs to add. And anytime we talk about it, I'll say Nintendo needs to add it, like I've been doing. Period. Now let's move over to me. I organize everything through Discord. I find Discord easier, even with PS4 or Xbox One. Back when I was playing Uncharted, I organized everything through Discord. Period. That doesn't mean Nintendo shouldn't add it, because I personally, because I have a network, that doesn't mean they shouldn't, but this is what I do. Is there any, because every time I get people coming in here and telling me, oh, well, people don't have PCs, and I know. That's why I said Nintendo should add it. I'm trying to be as calm, and I've repeated this so many. I said it even before, and then we still have people saying, well, everybody, I know. I feel you, Danny. I feel you, my man. That's why I said they should add it, and I've said it multiple times. I don't know how many more times I have to repeat it. I've said it on literally every video about the Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo should be adding these things. I don't know what else I can say at this point. So yeah. I don't, OJ, your intro should be, so keep the questions coming. Matthew says perhaps Nintendo should integrate Discord. They cannot get grief when people use bad language in the chat. Nintendo should just add normal peer-to-peer. There's peer-to-peer voice chat that's in multiple games on the Switch. Like, there's already stuff like Fortnite. I mean, it wouldn't be a hard thing to do. They don't even need Discord. So like I said, if you guys have questions, feel free. Feel free. I don't know if Mr. T is gonna hop back in here, but if he does, that's cool. He has the link, so he can hop back in whenever he's ready. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask the questions, guys. I'm here for you. Well, questions on anything, like if you guys want to make it more towards what we were talking about, that'd be great too. But I'll take normal questions as well. I'll take normal questions as well. So, OJ, would Nintendo release an HD version of Xenoblade One? I would hope so. That would be cool if they did. That'd be cool if they did. Brian says, do you think GameCube games will come over on Switch? If so, when? GameCube games. Let me turn on my notifications, guys. I don't have, I do have notifications. It was off, but I'm going to turn them on. So any subscriptions or anything like that, it's on. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to find your own purpose, find your own trade and purpose. Do you think Nintendo should buy Discord? No. Danny says, I'm so excited for Marked for Death in a couple days. What about you? Yes, I'm extremely excited for the game. So I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe should be the standards on how ports were done, unlike Mario Bros. U. Well, I don't think you can really make them a direct comparison, to be honest, because Mario Bros. U, they're both the same games. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe fixed a really big issue that the game had before, which was the battle mode. That's the issue that they fixed. They also added another item, like another item slot. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe actually gave you extra value with the game. They actually put 2 games in there as well, and then also added in some extra characters that you can use, or an extra character that you can use. So, and with abilities with that character. So I don't know if it's a direct comparison, because like what do they do? Like, Mario Kart 8 was missing a real battle mode. They added a real battle mode and they added another item. They added another mechanic to the game. Otherwise, it's the same game, When's the next Nintendo Direct? I'm hoping it's sometime soon, my man. I'm hoping it's sometime soon. OJ, what do you think Intelligent Systems' next game will be after Three Houses? I think they'll do Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door HD. I don't know if that's something that they would have to be like their next game that they do fully, but that would be nice, man. Can't port games from your 14 million selling system to The Last of Us Remastered to 8 million selling system 1 year later is fine. Sips T. Well, that's I made that point in my video. I said, well, I bought a PlayStation 4 because of The Last of Us Remastered, and also because of Infamous Second Son. So, but The Last of Us, that bundle that came with it, that was kind of like my thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna go out there and get this for that. So, I think T knows the reason why the ports are coming. I think he took more issue with me saying that it doesn't affect, from what I understand, from who I've spoken to, it doesn't really affect what they're doing because, from what I've seen, like Mario Kart 8, like I said before, they were working on ARMS. They were simply working on ARMS. Maybe they felt that they needed more time to do Mario Kart. There's no direct factual evidence that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe all of a sudden says, oh, that means Mario Kart 9 is not coming out this year. That there's no evidence, considering Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Mario Kart 8 came out in 2014, and they probably weren't expecting the Wii U to fail. Even at that point, they weren't expecting the Wii U to fail as badly as it did. So, could they have turned around and made a Mario Kart that I don't think they were expecting it. I just don't think the Mario Kart team in Nintendo was expecting the Wii U to fail so badly that they had to basically kill the Wii U in 2015, shut down everything, and start all over again with software. So to me, that's kind of how I see it. And they worked on a new game in the meantime. It's not like they didn't work on anything that wasn't new. They worked on ARMS instead. So it is what it is there. Let's see. OJ, do you think Metroid Prime Trilogy will release on the Switch this year? I think there's a high chance, yeah. Matthew Hammond says, after the Metroid Prime 4 announcement, has your opinion changed on RGT85 changing his intro before a gameplay shown? Yes, it's changed completely. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think of questions. Geronimo, shout outs, Geronimo. Are we getting a new Switch? Please talk about it, please. Yeah, like the Switch Pro. I've actually talked about that a couple times, Samuel. And I think that it's definitely possible that we could be getting like a revised Switch or something like that. It's definitely possible this year. We could. We just have to wait and see, right? We just have to wait and see for the, No Filter Nintendo Podcast says, what are your thoughts on Mizzah T's last point in the video about Nintendo tubers that don't voice their actual opinion and try to make it seem like everything is great to keep the audience engaged? I don't have any opinion on that. I've voiced, and if you're trying to make it seem as if that's what I'm doing, I've voiced my opinion many times. Not to kind of come at you, No Filter Nintendo Podcast, but I don't see you in my comment sections when I'm talking about Nintendo Online and what I've said about it. I don't see you showing up on my live streams a lot. And I mean, when I do give criticism or I do say, hey, they can do this better, I don't really see you doing that too much. So what are your thoughts on you not actually showing up to when I'm actually talking about that type of stuff, and then you making an assumption with the snarky comment? What are your thoughts on that? You not actually showing up and watching my videos, or otherwise you would have heard what I've already said on that. So what are your thoughts on that, my man? Angel Page says a port is a release is a release of a finished game, usually by another studio. I don't know of many studios that develop the entire game again, so I don't see them missing out on new games. Yeah, that's also another good point too. We don't know who did the port of Mario Kart. I mean, it could have been the Mario Kart team. I mean, we just don't know. Let's see here. Danny says, did you play Persona 5 at all? I did. It's actually right behind me. I have the deluxe right there, and I've also put up Let's Plays of the game and talked about it multiple times in videos. Yep, absolutely, I played it. I have already played in beta. I put like 100-something hours into the game. Is it worth double dipping if it comes out on Switch? For me, I'm going to double dip, yeah. Let's see. It's not snarky. It's a legit question. You wanted them based on T's vid, and that was a bit cold. And that was a bit cold. Yeah, I did. But basically, T's last point was not that. You said based on T's vid. I said based on this, not T's video, based on what we've talked about. So yeah, man. But I mean, like I said, seemed a bit snarky. But if it wasn't, my apologies. Unknown Bane Josh says, how would you feel of a sequel for Codename Steam? I think it would be cool. That's a pretty cool strategy RPG tactical strategy RPG developed by Intelligent Systems. I think it'd be cool if they made a sequel, but I don't think it's going to happen. Markel says, I find it interesting how one game getting delayed made people change their thoughts on Nintendo's 2019 lineup. I don't really think many people really changed their mind too much, but at the same time, Nintendo's Metroid Prime was never confirmed for 2019. Metroid Prime 4 was never confirmed for 2019. Shout outs to Cyclone with the subscription. Thank you so much, Cyclone. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village of Player Essence. Everybody in the chat, please welcome Cyclone to the village. Michael O'Brien says, Player Essence, one of the things 2017 had were these big single-player experiences from Nintendo. 2018 had a great multiplayer and family titles from Nintendo. Up 2019 is more like 2017. And like I stated before, I mean, I'm looking at Octopath. I'm looking at Xeno Torrent. I'm like, man, those are a lot better than what came out in 2017 for me. But I see in terms of total volume. But overall, I mean, Nintendo had a lot of multiplayer stuff in 2017 as well. I mean, they had, obviously, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was big for them. They also had what was the other multiplayer game that came out? Fire Emblem was not. That's just co-op. So I mean, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. Splatoon 2, big multiplayer game. ARMS. They actually released 3 multiplayer games in a row in 2017 with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, or ARMS, then Splatoon 2. So they actually had some big multiplayer. They also released Pokken Tournament. That's also a multiplayer game. So they actually had quite a number of multiplayer, big multiplayer games as well. Mizzah T, we back? I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay. I was taking questions in the meantime. I mean, I don't know if you got a skedaddle because I said for about an hour and it's been about an hour.
I'm good.
You're good.
I just
Okay.
wanted to.
Did you want to continue where you were with the quotes from my video?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, to paraphrase the video, I don't want to, get into the woods too much, but basically, I'm feeling like, especially with the success of the Switch, the list that people had, or for what the Switch needed to have not been, fulfilled, and by any stretch of the imagination. And so for me, it's been a snowball effect. So it's not one thing. So it definitely is. Oh well, I'm seeing this, what I feel is a pattern, and maybe I overreact to some of the other stuff. But because of this pattern I'm seeing, everything that happens that isn't where I feel like it should be is amplified. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't even like message people. What's the point of having a friends list? These are things that.
I 100% agree with that, and I've talked about that multiple times in videos. I've said Nintendo needs to improve this. Nintendo needs to do better with this. Nintendo needs to do this or do that. But I've always separated my own opinion in terms of how I'm using the Switch compared to what Nintendo needs to do. And for me, and even for all the other systems too, back when I was playing Uncharted, the Wii U was pre-Discord era. Switch is post-Discord era. And Discord is just so good. Not saying that they shouldn't. I want to make sure that I preface that. Not saying that they shouldn't. They should add it for those people that don't have, that it should just be there just because. It doesn't even if they don't have Discord or a PC. It should just be there. But if Discord was there with the Wii U, definitely I'm not sure if I would have been like, oh my, because like setting up stuff on the Wii U was ridiculous. And this was before really Twitter got popping with things and social media. The biggest thing for me and my users is being able to contact them when they're not on their system. Because most of the time people aren't looking at their system and waiting for me to message them or waiting for me to say something. It's like, hey, we're going to be setting up a game at this time. They're at work or something like that. And to me, Discord does that. However, that being said, which I've said multiple times, that does not mean, and I've already stated it, even in the post-Discord era, I've stated it multiple times, Nintendo needs to make sure that they add this and that. Just because I'm not yelling and screaming in every single video, or even in the videos that I say that, just because I'm not yelling and screaming doesn't mean that I back down on that or anything.
But
I've stated it multiple times.
Not only are you not yelling and screaming, which is fine. You don't have to do that. I don't think I do that either. I just, every once in a while, I get annoyed by something. But you seem to rejoice in people's, I guess, failure to be effective with their argument. Like, I know, I just looked recently. You had 3 live streams on the fact that, all these people are complaining about the online stuff, but I still see the Switch Online top of Amazon or whatever. And it's things like that. You have this thing, you say these things, but then I don't know if you remember all the stuff you say.
I remember.
You get on people about fake outrage, which that term to me is just like
but I've never directed it towards people who are legit though. That's what I'm saying. Like I've never directed it at like you or people that are legit, and they're saying like I've never done that. When I talk about fake outrage, I talk about people. Wait, hold up. When I talk about fake outrage, I talk about people who have no plan on buying the Switch, who have no plan on. They'll sit there and they'll say certain things just all day online, and then they'll go out there and support something. And I've said this multiple times. I talk about how garbage like Game Pass is and all that. I talk about how garbage, like I don't like PSN. I don't want to spend $60. What if I said all that and I'm outraged about those things because I really don't like those, but then I went out there and bought it? Wouldn't that not seem like fake outrage or something? And that's necessarily what it's in a joking matter. It's not necessarily like it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like harping on these people like that, or I'm trying to that doesn't mean that I don't think Nintendo should still add it. I'm like talking about it like in a way of like entertainment for people, like, oh, look at these people that are out here saying that it's horrible. Oh, then they rush out there and buy it. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of like,
but you directed a lot of that fake outrage towards the Let's Go situation. There was, the controversy of the game not being what people wanted, and Pokemon fans got on your head and you started to backpedal a little bit.
Because they're crazy. Yeah, because they're freaking, because they're nuts. So yeah, I'll backpedal a bit. Sure, I admit to that.
But here's the thing is, like, there you were saying fake outrage, but that is subjective. You can't declare fake outrage when somebody is upset about something because they may feel they're legitimately upset about stuff. So I think those are the people who are quote unquote fake outragists. Those people aren't going to clap back on you. I think the people who actually care, I'm a Pokemon fan, but I'm not like a crazy super Pokemon fan. So Let's Go Pikachu, Eevee, it's not what, I can understand why Pokemon fans don't care about it as much and whatnot. I don't care that, it's not where it's going to be because obviously the new one's coming, the mainline one is coming this year. So for me, it was just like, but I'm not going to like dismiss their outrage over it. I can understand. Because me and like my friend Terrell, that's in our podcast, he hates that game, and we never got an argument about him hating that game because
that's fine.
How he feels about it.
People can hate the game; they can not like it. But remember, this was before the game launched. But people can hate the game and say that it's horrible and all that stuff. That's fine. What I'm trying to say is that when people were trying to make this thing like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing in the world, when they just said that there's going to be another, this is not the first time, even if you want to count this as a spin-off, even though it's mainline, whatever, this is not the first time that we've gotten a different style of Pokemon game. There's a bunch of crappy Pokemon games that are released all the time. There's Pokemon Rumble. There's people like Mystery Dungeon and all that. People like Pokemon. There's Pokemon Ranger. There's all sorts of weird Pokemon games that are released. But this one seemed to be like as if it supplanted all the other ones, and they'll make every type of excuse in the book. Well, it's developed by Game Freak. Oh, well, so you guys would think differently if Pokemon Ranger was developed by Game Freak. It's a separate Pokemon title and you're still going to get your mainline title. I don't see it any different than a Pokemon Ranger or a Pokemon Rumble or a Pokemon anything. And that's why I said fake outrage, because there was no outrage over these other games, but all of a sudden there's outrage with this one when we're still getting our normal Pokemon game. But I've seen literally zero outrage about Pokemon Rumble, and that game is utterly trash on the Wii U, and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
But Game Freak themselves obviously said that game was a mainline game, even though most people would say it's not. So there was legitimate reasons for and people were worried that, even though we're getting a quote unquote mainline Pokemon game this year, is Let's Go Pikachu Eevee going to be some kind of a blueprint? That was a legitimate concern for people to have. So
that's fine. I had no problem with that. But getting to the amount of not people that are legit making some concerns. There's a difference between outrage and people having legit concerns. I'm talking about the people that were going crazy. I'm not talking about the people that just said, oh, well, this could be like, I'm not talking about everybody that criticized it. I'm talking about the people that were going crazy, because there are literally people going crazy. You know what I'm saying? And saying also, I'm talking about that. Outrage is very different from legit concerns and saying certain things. So I wasn't harping on everybody. I was harping on people that were going crazy. And that's the reason why I backpedaled, because Pokemon fans are crazy at times. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just back up and chill. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all crazy. So I'm not going to mess with you guys like that. So yeah, I backpedaled, but I was just talking about the people who were going outraged, That's what I'm talking about, like those people. Not people that
what was your thinking? What was the point of view, seeming to celebrate the fact that Switch Online was still doing well, even though it's nowhere near, especially from what your demands and expectations were, it was nowhere near that.
I was making fun of.
Why did you seem to rejoice? And
it's not really rejoicing. It's more of just for entertainment, like making joking around. It's not necessarily like rejoicing, like, oh my gosh, look at this. It's just like, hey, look, Switch Online's still doing despite everybody. Like, it's just more of like that. It's not necessarily rejoicing or anything like that.
Maybe the people who were complaining aren't the same people who are buying it. I mean, that's legitimate.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
So I feel like to go out and dance on people's.
But I'm not like, I didn't like say like, oh, all of you frauds out here that are just completely crying and complaining and about hate. Like, it's more of just like a comical thing. Like when I do PE Live, I tell people at the very beginning, and I tell people at the end, yo, do not take jokes that I'm saying. Like, it's not the same tone as a normal video. Like, if I have my normal video, whenever I talk about the Nintendo Switch Online, what do? I'm pretty serious about it. I say that they need to add this. I'm very, very serious. But when I'm doing PE Live, and people who know my channel that come to my PE Lives, they know how I get. So I'm going to crack jokes on things. We're going to make fun of things. We're going to just do that on PE Live. And that's just how it is when I talk about live streams like that. But that doesn't mean I don't think that Nintendo should add that stuff. Otherwise, I'm just saying one thing, then saying something else, and literally contradicting myself. Obviously, I think Nintendo should do better with the online. Obviously, I think Nintendo should. And I want to make that clear, but I'm a joking. I'm not a very like super serious person. I know a lot of people like to think that because I do news and it's serious. But to be honest, most of the time I'm just like crack jokes on stuff. I'll crack jokes on all.
Well, it was
different types.
3 live streams. Part 3 outrage over. I mean, to me, I felt like that.
And it was a joke, dude. The thumbnail was a joke. I kept on. I added. Who was that? The Pit Boy. I added the Pit Boy and was like, and that was clearly a joke. I mean,
okay, but what I'm saying to you, okay, that's fine. That's very fine. But it's similar to what I don't know if you know Daily Show, Jon Stewart or whatnot.
Yeah,
he jokes, right? He joked when he was on the show. He joked, but he also gave the news. So people would be like, you can't have it both ways. You can't give the news in here and then like say you're completely absolved because I'm only joking when you make a joke.
I'm not saying I'm completely absolved. I'm not saying that.
But no, that's the issue I deal with because it's like, okay, well, I'm making a serious point here, and I get a bunch of people running to me saying, basically using your premise on how they feel about the situation. Like that, I mean, that happens to me quite a bit now, especially now. And the thing, like, again, I brought up your video because like Nintendo, like everything else, I hold people to their own standards. This was your standard in 2016 when it was the NX. And, people had, all their, rightfully so, issues with, and they had their lists for the NX and what it needed to be. And the NX came out and it exploded in sales, and all those lists dissipated. They just disappeared. I don't know what they did. They went away. Nobody wanted to talk about the stuff anymore.
My list is still there, and I've talked about it multiple times. I still want Nintendo to add these type of things to it, but like I did state, this is after Discord. You know what I'm saying? This is after that.
Okay, here.
I still state every single time, T, that Nintendo needs to add these things. I haven't wavered from what I said. Nintendo still needs to add it. Does that mean that I'm going to not play this system? Am I going to make a bunch of videos saying that Nintendo needs to, like a million videos in a row, Nintendo needs to add it? No, I'm just going to say anytime we talk about Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo needs to add this. Anytime that I talk about Nintendo Switch Online, I say that Nintendo needs to add it. They need to add these features. Every single time.
Fine, and I'm not expecting. Again, I'm mostly opinion channel. Obviously I do all kinds of stuff, but I'm not expecting somebody to keep quote unquote harping on this issue the way I do. What I'm expecting is people to leave me the hell alone when I do it. Like, because if you feel the way you feel, then don't complain about me complaining. Like, this is how I feel. I feel like the standard.
I never mentioned any.
I never mentioned anybody. There's no reason.
I never mentioned. I never mentioned
to be worse
anybody,
than
though.
Wii U in any way. It should not be worse than Wii U in any way.
I agree, and I've said that they need to add this or that or whatever the case is. But I've never taken anything that you've said or anything that you've done, T, and I've never messed with one of your thumbnails or try to say, oh well, this was just part. I've never done that to you guys. Whenever you guys. I'm lurking in all of you guys' podcasts and stuff, and you guys say stuff that I disagree with all the time. But do you ever hear me argue that point or make a response? I don't, and I have no issue with you guys the way that when you guys say certain things. I honestly don't, and I'm not talking to you guys if I make jokes. I'm not. That's not a shot at you, or that's not a shot because I know I'm not insulting your intelligence, T. I know you know the reason why Switch is getting Wii U ports. The video that I made wasn't at you. You know the reason why. I'm not insulting your intelligence.
That's not directly only at you. I hear it from a lot of people. Well, the Wii U only so that's why I did it, in the jokingly way I did it, because I've heard it so many times. Well, we all know the Wii U sold abysmally. But what I'm saying is the games themselves sold enough to warrant sequels. And they've had plenty of time because
which games are you talking about?
They have more resources. They have more resources now because they merged their handheld departments with their console departments. So, excuse me for having expectations based on what Nintendo is doing, what's happened, and what they've done. Pardon me, but that's all I'm doing. I expect this game to be better than the last, or at least on par with it. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't understand.
There's nothing wrong. I don't even, like I said, I don't even have a problem with I agree with certain parts of your video. I just didn't know where where I was being. I just don't know why I was being roped in for certain things.
Again, I don't know. Maybe you hear it from people commenting or whatever. If you look at the specifics of the video, it wasn't other than the port situation, because that's all you really talked about that I had an issue with, and the fact that it feels like you're talking down to people when you say, well, look at this graph. This is why we all know why Nintendo would do such and such, because of the we all get that.
Well, you're saying that we all know why, T, but you shouldn't do that with the internet. You know why, because you've been around for a long time, making content and all of that. You were here with the Wii U, so you guys know why. But there's a lot of people that are new. There's a lot of people that literally don't know why. And they will come to me and ask these basic questions. People in the chat, you guys know at PE Live, how many times do I get basic questions that you would think that everybody knows? And I've actually had some people reach out to me like, OJ, you're kind of mean when people ask you certain questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just because this is just such a basic thing, or it's been out there, so I'm trying to explain things in a way to where people can understand from a basic level. Like, yeah, it seems very like, what? I mean, why would you talk about that? But it's not speaking down to people. I'm not insulting you guys' intelligence. I know you guys, that video wasn't at you guys at all, or anybody that's been around. If you've been around since the Wii U era, I'm never going to do anything that's going to be directed, like that, unless I'm joking or unless I'm having a little bit of fun or whatever, which the thumbnail will clearly state that. Like, if I'm putting Pip-Boy in the thumbnail and putting a bunch of them in there, it's not necessarily serious. But like, I'll never insult you guys' intelligence like that. Like, I'm speaking down to you in general or speaking down to anybody. It's just basically talking about what's the reason why and kind of giving multiple points. What's the reason, even if it is at a very basic level. That's it. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm sorry if it felt that way for people. That's not my intention. That's not my intention.
Okay. And here's the thing. Like you said, in your live streams, it's more like you just kind of having fun. You're probably more opinionated than your regular. I totally accept that. You haven't seen me complain once about anything you said in your live stream, because I accept, okay, that's OJ being, funny and whatever, playing, doing it with everything. But to me, the port thing was in was in one of your regular videos. And so to me, that felt like you were making a point. And the point was, my point wasn't valid. So that's how I felt about that. Because you've said many things off, the cuff in your live streams, and I've never had a problem with that, because that's, I know that's your opinion. But when you state it in one of your kind of regular news videos, to me, that feels like I'm making a fact here. This is a fact I'm stating. And so that's when I had an issue.
Yeah, well, like I said, from my understanding, it's a fact. Fact is based off of what we know. That's basically what the definite is. What is it? What we know. I mean, there could be some stuff going on, but that's speculation. What do we know? Here's what we know. We know the Wii U died a horrible death early. And I'm guessing that's what we do know. I'm guessing the Mario Kart team and Nintendo didn't think they'd be killing the Wii U in 2015. Is there enough? Of course not. I'm sure they did. Yeah. Is there enough time to hurry up? Would that be a rushed Mario Kart? For the next system, would that be rushed? Because Mario Kart came out in 2014. So this is speculation, but I'm thinking, is Nintendo thinking that they can rush out a Mario Kart by 2017 when they just got one out in 2014? We know it takes a long time to build console Mario Karts. Would one have been ready? So maybe they said, let's work on a new IP that we can actually get out in this amount of time. That would be, obviously the expectations for ARMS isn't going to be as high as a Mario Kart. So I'm looking at, from what we know factually, they put out a game. They put out a game in that time. Wii U died early. They put out a game. Mario Karts take a long time to make. Console level Mario Karts with new ideas and new features, and they take a long time to make based off of what they've said. They said 6 years for Mario Kart 8, So I'm looking at that, the facts of 6 years for Mario Kart 8, Wii U died early, and they also put out a new game, and say, I don't see how it affects it. That's from the facts, and that's it. Not to crap on your point, but I'm saying from the facts.
It does affect the timing. It's going to affect the timing of a Mario Kart 9. It just has to.
But
The way any port would.
I don't
New
know.
Super Mario Brothers 3, whatever, what is it, Deluxe? It's a joke. New Super Mario Brothers, the new 2, Deluxe, is going to directly affect Nintendo saying, hey, maybe we should do a new 2D Mario, an actual new 2D Mario game.
We don't,
because fans
I can't make a video saying that is true, because from what I understand, New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe has been done for like a year before it launched. So for me to say and say, oh, well, that game is somehow affect, like, when did it affect it? It's been done forever. We don't know who did it.
But again, we're back to speculation.
There's just not enough
speculating
evidence.
And so much.
Well, data miners actually found out that it's been done. Same with Yoshi. Data miners found out that
No. I mean, I'm talking about them working on something else, or the timing of a sequel affecting.
I don't have their internal timing, like when they say what's being planned, how this affects this. So I can't sit here in a normal video and say this is completely going to affect this. I can speculate on it, but what I said in my video was factual. It was just the facts.
I speculate on evidence too. Like you say that, well, Nintendo has all these resources. This stuff isn't going to affect them. If they had all these resources, why are we going to have to wait another 3 years for Metroid Prime 4? If they had all this stuff situated and
they messed up and tried to ban
Why is Nintendo messing up?
Because here's the thing: we're going to see
a
game from Retro Studios. That's what Retro Studios was working on, and they were looking at, like, we want a Metroid Prime, and Retro Studios was busy. So Retro Studios was not chosen. So they said, hey, we're going to go with a different team. And it didn't work out the way that they wanted it to work out. So we're going to see what Retro's been working on in the meantime. So, I mean, if you want to know.
To me, that's very sophomoric for Nintendo. This is a top-tier franchise. Obviously, it's not a top-tier seller, but it is a well-respected franchise. And for them to be like, here you go, Bandai Namco, based on what? Like, especially after how fans reacted to Federation Force and Other M, you don't want to mess this up. So you don't announce a game 2 years in advance and then not cancel it. You know, obviously they're pushing it off because at the restart. That's not the game you do that with. You do that with Kirby. You do that with something else. That's not.
I mean, I guess they made. Everybody said, yeah, they made a mistake. They fessed up to the mistake. They apologized for it. They probably should have went with Retro to begin with. Then we don't get Retro's game, whatever they're working on at this point. So, I mean, yeah, they probably should have just done that and then given the other game that Retro.
So we're talking about resources here. We're talking
about resources. Retro was working on a game that they wanted to work on. You know, that we're going to see. And they decided, well, we still want to get fans, like, we still want to get Metroid into people. I mean, if you wait till that game's done, because the game that they're working on isn't done yet. If you wait till that's done, then you'd have to say, okay, now you're going to start Metroid Prime after this. They were planning on having Metroid Prime from Bandai Namco sooner, but it didn't work out. So they said, we're going to stop it and we're going to give it back to Retro. Their game is pretty much done. We're going to give it to them. So, I mean, they were trying to get more game. They were trying to get Metroid and this other game out. So they were trying to give us more, but it didn't work out. I mean, it wasn't up to what they wanted to do. So, I mean, that's just how it is. I don't see it.
I just don't understand. And the Nintendo I know, I don't understand how they go into a situation like that with one of their pillar franchises. They wouldn't do that with.
It's happened a lot. They went into things and canceled stuff, then had to wait multiple years.
You never heard about it.
Well, Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
You never heard about it until after.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. That game actually had a whole script and everything. And Nintendo talked about that game had a whole script and everything. They had so much more stuff. There was going to be a lot more story, but there was going to be a main protagonist. They scrapped all of that, and that's why that game got delayed for longer. You know, so this has happened. Like games dying, like Project Hammer. You know, that was a game that they had it all there, everything.
You're talking about,
they just canceled it, you know? So, I mean,
you're not talking about top tier games here. You're not talking about Zelda or a Mario here. We're talking about.
I mean, if you want to talk about top tier, I mean, that's subjective. That's subjective in terms of the quality. I mean,
look at the ratings. I mean, look at how highly regarded it is.
Ratings are ratings.
It may not sell as well, but it's still as good as Nintendo's other franchises. I think most fans would agree with that.
I understand, but I
again,
mean, like, this is not something that, in my opinion, I mean, if you talk about like top tier or ratings, I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles is rated 90. You know what I'm saying? The original Xenoblade Chronicles was rated a 90. So that's just as top tier as anything Nintendo has. And they still had issues with Xenoblade Chronicles X, you know? So they've had issues with
Metroid was there on the first console.
I mean, Breath of the Wild, they've had issues with that even before it was going to be announced for the Wii U. They had Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword literally took all generation to come out because of the issues that they had with that game. Like, it took they started working on it after Twilight Princess, and it took all the way till 2011 for that game to come out. So I think it's been pretty well documented that Nintendo's had issues with their top tier franchises.
We're kind of in the woods here. We're kind of in the woods here. My point was that I feel like the quality is there. Yeah, the quantity is greater, of course. But to me, I'm feeling like the emphasis on things that shouldn't be an issue at this point isn't there. And I'm just going to talk about those things, and I'm going to complain about them until I see that they're better. And I don't begrudge anybody else's opinion, and that's just what I expect as well. So, I mean, again, we're in the woods here, but basically, like I said, I'm not seeing what I expect the Switch to be at this point, and I don't know if is there a real argument against the things I'm talking about, especially with the online, the feature set. I mean, the things that these guys are doing with their jailbroken Switches is, to me, it's embarrassing. Because Nintendo should have these things.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. They should definitely add those things. But the thing for me is, like, like I said, for me, I'm going to continue doing what I do. I'm going to continue enjoying the games that I enjoy. If you don't feel like the quality's there, that's fine. You don't feel the quality's up to snuff or not there, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
You thought Kirby was a great game.
Me?
Yeah,
I liked Kirby with me and my daughter. We played Kirby together. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I played with my kids too, but it's fun then because it's easier for them. But for me, as a core game, it's.
But I personally, I mean, I guess to kind of get to your No Filter podcast, he says the Switch is underperforming, not sales wise. Although, like, I disagree. Like I said, otherwise I would be literally contradicting myself even more. If you say I mean, I said Nintendo needs to make sure. What else did I say? People are focusing on, that with features. What else did I say? The biggest complaint, and you guys, like I said, you guys have made fun of me about this, like in our podcast that we had, our reunion podcast about RPG elements. Like, that was that was the thing that I harped on more so than even features. We
didn't mind RPG elements. We just thought it was funny because you said it a lot.
And exactly.
We didn't mind that.
And I wanted RPG. I'd always complain, like, where's their RPGs? That was the number one thing that I demanded from Nintendo. More so than anything was, where's the RPGs and all that? So now that we're getting all that, I'm going to sit here and say, oh, well, it's not great. I'm not going to do that because I'm enjoying all of the RPGs that we're getting. I'm enjoying all of the content that we're getting. And I'm looking at it, like I said, in comparison to N64, comparison to GameCube, and the first 2 years of those systems, and also with the Wii U, and I'm like, whoa, this is way better. Xenoblade 1 and a whole big expansion tournament, which is it's standalone. It's pretty much its own game. You can play it that way. To me, that's better than a lot of stuff Nintendo's done in the past. Octopath Traveler, better than a lot of stuff Nintendo's done. Smash Brothers, Smash Brothers Ultimate, better than all the other Smash Brothers games that we've played before in terms of things. Still got stuff that they can do better, but a lot better than all of that.
But what if we got Smash Brothers Wii U port? Would you be,
If we got Smash Brothers, it depends on what they added. I mean, it depends on what the Wii U port would be. I mean, obviously, that wouldn't be as good as like a brand new game. That wouldn't be as good as like Ultimate, but I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we
literally.
What I would want from that, if that was the case, is like, okay, well, Sakurai was working on my Kid Icarus Uprising. All right, let's say, oh, well, we got Kid Icarus Uprising in 2018, and then maybe we get another Smash. I mean, obviously, I would like to have a real new Smash, but I mean, if he delivered something else, I'd be like, oh, well, that sucks. I guess it's not as good as support, but damn, we got new Kid Icarus Uprising. Okay, we got Kid Icarus Uprising 2. Okay, cool. I mean, so for me, like I said,
I just think, from my perspective, again, it's my perspective. I feel like when Nintendo is trying to drive the install base, you get their best. And I feel like they feel like they don't really have to do that as much right now. because the Switch is just selling hand over fist.
I
don't think we're getting their best because of that.
I have to disagree.
That again. That's just how I feel.
I'm looking at the amount of games compared to what we have before, and I'm looking at the amount of games.
You're talking about amount.
Yeah, I'm talking about the amount of new games that we've gotten and the amount of stuff in general when it comes to first party and third party. Because being Nintendo, it's not just about, oh, well, how many first party games are we releasing this year? It's about fostering relationships and hopefully getting a lot of the third party that they're already missing out on, but actually going to these people. I mean, Damon Baker just left Nintendo. He was busy as hell. He got a pay raise because of the good job that he did. So it's not just about first party games, but us getting it. It's also about third party as well, too.
But that's fine. You're right. You're not wrong. Because, again, my boy Terrell, that's in our podcast, he made that statement when me and Terminator Juice were talking about, there's a lot of really good other games, that are not Nintendo. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're completely right about that. But my argument is me as a Nintendo fan wanting Nintendo games, 2018 was quite lackluster. Okay. I don't see how, I'm talking again about being a Nintendo fan who wants core Nintendo franchises, core Nintendo games, and there's a lot of them that haven't been, re-upped in a while. I was disappointed. So I don't feel like there's really an argument against that. Now if you want to talk about Switch overall, yeah, Switch overall was better outside of the, exclusives in 2018 than it was in 2017. It had better third party. It was a lot of games that came to it. I will not dispute that at all. But what I'm saying as a Nintendo fan, that is my argument. Yeah. So we'll say, well, you're not talking about my argument when you talk about all these other games.
Objectively, there is an argument against that. If somebody feels objectively, you're talking about this is objectively or just speaking subjectively about whatever X and Y game, you feel that they're not going up to what they need to do because of the quality of the game. The quality is subjective. So objectively, there is. Somebody could say, well, wait a minute here. Which I get all the time, by the way, with other stuff. Wait a minute. I loved Mario Party. It was the greatest game I've ever played. I loved Mario Tennis. It was the best thing I ever played. I love Super Smash Brothers. I love Octopath. I loved Torna. I loved all those games, and those were my favorite games ever released. So therefore, I don't agree with that opinion on 28. There, you can objectively speaking, you can say that. Now, I don't agree with that. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, somebody could completely disagree. So there is an argument against that point. If somebody feels that all of those new games, not ports, but new games released in 2018 were better than what 2017 brought. Now, like I said, don't necessarily agree with everything on that, but objectively speaking, somebody could easily say, yeah, I disagree with that. And it wouldn't be, and that's their opinion on that. That's their opinion. Now, if you look at it from a consumer standpoint, compared to what Nintendo did before, Mario Tennis, maybe not as good as Mario on the GameCube, but it was better than the Wii one, and it was better than the Wii U one. So you got that. Mario Party, highest rated Mario Party that we've gotten since what? The N64 or something like that? So they added online. The online's kind of garbo, but they one-upped everything that they did on the Wii and the Wii U. When it comes to Mario Party, I think it's the highest rated Mario Party that we've gotten in a while. So you can look at it from that point of view, and I look at Torna, and I'm like, wow, this is the best RPG Nintendo's done. And what we got with the Wii U, what we got with the Wii. I mean, definitely Octopath, definitely really good. A lot of stuff that came over to the 3DS is coming over to the Switch when it comes to first party and third party wise. Just content in general. Smash Brothers, best Smash Brothers game that we've gotten probably since, for me, since Wii U, obviously. But for other people, maybe Melee. We got a lot of Melee players that are now playing Smash Ultimate, and this is the best one that they've played. So I think objectively speaking, somebody could say something about that. But I don't disagree with what I'm not saying that your opinion is wrong. Like wrong. Obviously, it's not.
Again, I'm going by the franchise's standards, and when a game can literally play itself, then that's not up to par with what you've put out previously.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
I
didn't mention.
I guess that's subjective, but
I didn't mention Kirby. But yeah, you're right about that. Definitely, Kirby probably could have been. I guess we're talking about the 3DS games because like the Wii. What did the Wii U got? What did Wii U get? Wii U got what's that?
What do you mean?
Canvas thingy.
It got the Rainbow Curse.
I hated it. But I mean, I know people love that game.
I didn't mind it because that was basically a sequel to the 3DS game or the DS game. So it wasn't a mainline Kirby game, whereas, this game is. So that was Again, that subjective, but
real quick with Mononero, he says OJ is so optimistic. People will be saying he's a sell. No, people are really dumb. People are really dumb. So if they call me a sellout, which I'm not, it's not about being optimistic. I look what's in front of me.
We don't need that.
Yeah, I look what's in front of me, and then I evaluate what I like. Has nothing to be about optimistic. If you don't like what you don't like, that's fine. But don't sit here and try to disrespect me and say, oh, well, since you're optimistic or since you like certain things, that's a problem. You're a sell. Like, get that trash out of here, please. That's garbage. That's a garbage point to make.
We can have a debate without name calling, because when you start name calling, the debate is over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and that's why I said, like, with T's points, like, I don't disagree with, like, if people think 2018 was not up, and if you think it's not up to snuff, that's fine. I'm just looking at it from my point of view. I'm looking at it from, like, with the games that are coming and what I wanted the most on Switch, and that was delivered for me, at least. I mean, it would have been nice. Fire Emblem got delayed. It would have been nice if we got Fire Emblem in 2018 as well. Would have been nice, but that would have been 4 main RPGs in 2018. We got 3 from Nintendo. That would have been 4 main
I didn't mind
RPGs.
the delay, Fire Emblem.
Huh?
I didn't mind the delay at all. So.
Oh well, yeah.
We got a lot of RPGs.
Yeah. They made it better. They made it better. They made a better game, or they're going to make a better game because of it. But
I always say, my argument is nuanced. We can end this soon. But my argument about ports, I've said it from the beginning, is nuanced. It's not ports in general. I showed ports in my video that I've purchased. But what I'm saying is, you have things like Darksiders, War Master. That was a $20 game, and rightfully so, because it should have been. Mm-hmm. You didn't do a whole lot to it. You upped the frame rate, but that's the kind of value stuff that I used to see from Nintendo. I'm not seeing this generation, and it bothers me. Like, because I have a history with this company, I know how they get down, and I feel like they're not doing it. The stuff that they were getting accused for on the Wii, which they were leaving the core fan base. I feel like that's what they're doing right now. That's going to change, obviously, but at least in 2018, I felt like it was we got these sales. Let's just get these sales, and we'll worry about the core fan base a little bit later. Because Kirby to me is a core franchise game, and it wasn't up to par. Mario Tennis was to me a core franchise game. They fumbled that thing, and the online, and I mean, it's a snowball. It's a snowball as far as my disappointment in these games. And it all
that was the same with Wii U as well. I mean, was that the same situation? Because
I said the Wii U game was trash. I never touched that game.
No, I meant like Nintendo going away from the core. Like Nintendo not like was that the same case with the Wii U, or was that?
That was the case with the Wii U. Once I feel like once they realized it wasn't going to do what they. I made a couple videos on this. It's a long series of 2 videos, mm-hmm. and I talked about how. Once Nintendo realized that the Wii U was just not going to get off the ground, they tried to go back to their Wii stuff. That's where you saw those family commercials, and they tried to push that more. They didn't do that. I don't feel like they did that in the beginning. I felt like they tried the core route in the beginning, and once third parties jumped and they didn't get the sales they thought they were going to get, that's when they switched to trying to recapture the Wii market and the casual Wii market, I should say, not just the Wii market, but. Yeah, so I complained about that. I complained, I made that a point in my video.
I just want to know what your thought process on that, because I'm looking at it. I'm like I said, from my perspective, I'm looking at like, well, wait a minute, three core RPGs that are all pretty good. Smash Brothers is pretty good. At least maybe Kirby could have been better. Obviously, that could have been better, but at least they somewhat tried with Mario Tennis. I mean, people really wanted a single player mode. They added that in. People complained about.
Before you go in. I'm talking about Nintendo themselves. That's what I'm saying. Nintendo themselves, right now, that obviously going to change at some point. And even the outlook isn't overly crazy. I mean, there's some games out there. We got mentions of, Luigi's Mansion and stuff like that came out of the blue, and Animal Crossing and stuff, which people thought was coming anyway. But I'm just saying from basically early 2018 to, basically when Smash came out, it felt really casual. Obviously, we got third-party RPGs and all that kind of stuff, but I'm talking about Nintendo themselves. Again, I'm always talking about Nintendo themselves.
Casual in terms of
I always start the argument.
Nintendo's first party.
Yeah, with what they're putting out. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I felt like, Kirby felt super casual to me. Mario Tennis could have been so much better, and it just felt like, it felt really casual to me. It felt like a casual effort. So that's what I'm.
I guess, like I said, from my point of view, the Wii
and Let's Go Pikachu. I mean, come on, Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, very casual.
Yeah, that was definitely very casual. But they also put out like core. I felt that they put out, for me at least, like I said, from what I was playing, they definitely put out. It was either better than what it was before, you know what I'm saying, or it was really good. Like I said, Torna, Octopath, Smash. But I understand, like, from people who talk about like 2017 versus 2018. But my video, one more thing is, I think, not necessarily that you were doing this, but my video wasn't a 2017 versus 2018 thing. That's not how I look. I didn't do a comparison of 2017, or I don't really do that. I'm looking at everything that we're getting just in general. I don't ever look at it like, oh, well, it's only like first party only, and that's how I'm going to rate Nintendo. I mean, they could probably do better. That's fine. They can do better. We were supposed to get Fire Emblem in 2018. It got delayed, whatever the case is. But I'm not trying to put it like that. So for the people that are saying, oh, well, it'd be very hard for you to line up 2017 versus 20. I'm not. If you think it's subjective. If you think 2017 is better, then you think 2017 is better. I don't care. Like, so for the people that are saying that in the chat, I don't care what year you think is better. Okay, I honestly don't care.
And it's partially better, because the lust that was still on the Switch. It was a new console that also added to it. This was a new console, and there was a lot of excitement and potential.
I don't care about people's subjective opinion. Basically, about what you think is better. Like, I don't care. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, well, I don't like Torna." Well, I don't care if you don't like Torna. If you thought that Torna was, if you felt that Odyssey or whatever game is better. I don't care. It's about I'm talking about what I like for like 20. It's like,
I mean, I like X better, but I'm not going to sit here and say that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a bad game. It's not. I mean, it is a really good game. I'm not gonna. It's just it didn't register as well with me as far as what I wanted after X. So, but I'm not gonna say it was a good game.
I do want to talk to VC's point. Says it's not subjective that more new games were released in 2017 over 2018. No, that's actually flat out wrong. Nintendo, in terms of overall, the Switch got way more new games in 2018 over 2017. First party releases were right around the same. I think 2017 they released a game or two more with first party.
Yeah, my argument is that they weren't as good. That's not that there weren't as many.
Well, VC's trying to say that, oh, well, it's factual. No, or that it's not factual, it's subjective. But no. It's factual that 2018 literally had like 3 times the amount or 2 times the amount of games just overall than 2018. 2018 had just more games overall than 2017. In terms of number of releases from Nintendo, I think they put out a couple more in 20. I mean, if you don't count like Bayonetta double pack or whatever it is, like if you're counting like ports, not ports, I mean, maybe it's like 1 or 2 more games that they released in 2017 over 2018. But 2018 they released just as many first party or exclusive games that paid for marketing, distribution, whatever it is. They released just as many. It's just subjective. I guess it's just subjective on what you think of the quality of those. Ports were released in 2017. Ports were released in 2018. It's just.
And my last point on it is I mean, especially coming from Wii U, if you say there's obviously more games. Obviously, that's not an issue at all. It's just that when you compare it, I don't even compare it. But if you just say, look at for me again, it's subjective, but the quality of the games themselves weren't up to what I felt like Nintendo can put out. I felt like they can do better, and I don't understand anybody. I'm not saying you specifically, but anybody having an issue with somebody wanting better, because that benefits everybody if it happens.
It seems like people were coming at you, and in a certain way. And I
can take it. I mean, it's like,
and I disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with if somebody feels that it could be better or whatever. I don't disagree with that. Not everybody likes to play RPGs or thinks that Torna is the greatest thing in the world like I do, or thinks that Smash Brothers is the greatest thing, or thinks that Octopath. I mean, I get it from that point of view. Like, I completely 100% get it. Just personally.
This is the point I was trying to make, is that. Obviously, I'm a Nintendo fan. I'm a super core Nintendo fanboy. I had a Wii U. I had all those games. So when you bring all those games to the Switch, that's not exciting to me. I get annoyed because I'm like, well, what about Wave Race, or what about you could be doing that? Again, resources. We can talk about how they affect that, or if they don't. But I feel like if any business, if they put out something and they're like, oh man, this is selling really well, they're not gonna. They want to keep that thing selling well. They're not gonna, care about going on to the next thing. Everybody does that in business. Like if you got something that's selling, maybe you want to add on to it and keep it fresh, but you're not going to spend the resources to do the next thing until that thing is, completely done with. I would think if you're a smart business, that's what you would do. So, but I'm a consumer. I'm a consumer of your product, and that before didn't matter as much. It felt like to me for Nintendo. I have an Xbox One. I have a PS4. So a lot of when you talk about all these games that are coming out, they're not as exciting to me because they're on my other consoles. As a Nintendo fan, a core Nintendo fan who's had the Wii U, again, the releases to me aren't nearly as exciting. To somebody who's never had a Wii U, you might think this is the greatest Nintendo console of all time.
I wouldn't that.
Right, and I can't dispute that. But for me, I can only give you my perspective because it's me. The output isn't that fascinating to me because like I said, I have other consoles and I had a Wii U.
Yeah.
So if you look at it from that perspective, it was better, in certain ways. But
I don't know. I personally feel, man, like with the Switch, I would agree. I mean, in terms of having it on other consoles, and I get that. But to me, like there is one, and like I said, this is where subjective opinion, I guess, on what adds value and what.
That's it. Yeah. Are you going to say the portability?
To be able to take it anywhere to me is a big. That's like a big thing. Like Valkyria Chronicles 4, like it's on Xbox One, but which Sega gave me a recode, but I bought it on Switch because. Why would you want to just play Xbox, like play it on your TV when you can play Valkyria Chronicles 4 anywhere that you want? When you're at the DMV or when you're at mom's house, or you can take it on the plane. To me, being able to just play the game anywhere adds value for me personally. So I think when people come at you like with that, it's like, oh well, it's on the Xbox. They're thinking, well, wait a minute, you can't take this big old Xbox anywhere that you want. Being able to play a game anywhere is obviously something that's making the Switch what it is. I mean, if Switch was a normal set-top box, would it have the type of would it have the type of appeal that it has? I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
But you know what? You're not wrong at all. I would probably have zero problems if they wanted to bring over every 360 game to the Switch and put it on there. That portability factor would be amazing to me. I would do it. But you know what would stop me from doing it? Is the damn price. If I feel like that price is way too much for what you're trying to offer me, I'm not cool with that. And that's my nuanced argument about ports. I feel like they're why? I mean, if you're going to bring out Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze at $60, why not throw in Donkey Kong Country Returns in there? Like, would that have been that difficult for you to do? Even if you don't want to remaster it, just put the original game the way it is in there.
It would have to the code would have to be ported.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe you can have a situation where it's downloaded or something. I mean, I'm just saying, like, or they could have HD'd that thing. I mean, how difficult is it to do that? I mean, if you're going to charge me $60 for a game on this console that's $20 right now, give me some value for it. I don't have a problem with ports. It's hard to put that in the title of your video. So I think a lot of people react to the title and react to the actual video, what you're saying. So it's hard to put that. I have a nuanced opinion when it comes to ports. I feel like Nintendo has been price gouging on the ports. And if you're, again, I said this in the video, if you're valiant and your thing is, we want these games to shine that didn't shine on Wii U. Beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to want. I want that too. But why not do it for the games that didn't sell well? Why not? Why not lead with those games?
Because
that's my argument.
Why not? What you mean from the beginning? Because we're not even at 2 years yet. So
we're not leading. We don't have to lead with them. We've had 2 years of not the best-selling Wii U ports, but do we really need a new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe? No, that could have been a different port. That could have been a Wonderful 101. That could have, well, obviously that's a platinum thing. That's different, but You know what I'm saying. It could have been something else that was way more worthy of your time and our time and money than new Super. Like, nobody even likes that art style. We're so sick of everybody's so sick of that cheap
I
New
mean,
Super Mario Brothers.
like I said, I get it, but I mean, like this is just like standard thing, like when it comes to, and I see like you're saying from your perspective, and I don't
They
disagree.
don't charge $50.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I don't necessarily disagree with you. Yeah, they could have done whatever. Who knows what else is coming? I just think that within 2 years, I got within. Now we're not even at 2 years yet. We still got Yoshi coming out. Within 2 years. I haven't really. I mean, to me, it's been pretty good. They got some other stuff that they got to do. They got some stuff that they got to fix and all that. But compared to the disaster of the Wii U launch and the first 2 years of the Wii U, I'm looking at that system like, okay, it's not bad. I mean, we've gotten some okay things here and there, but it's completely like devoid of like, you want to talk about like casual experiences. I mean, Nintendo released a lot of mini game collections and a lot of platformers within the first 2 years of the Wii U, like a lot. Like, and I'm thinking, well, couldn't they have put something else? So I'm thinking that way. It's like they released, what was it? Nintendo Land, Wii Tenant, what was it? The Wii thing, Wii Sports Club. What else did they release? They released Game & Wario. So we're just getting mini game collection after mini game collection, and that was all within a span of a year. They released.
And what I'm saying is that they were way more justified. Again, this is subjective. On a Wii U, a console that was pretty much dead in the water, they were way more justified. We got to get something out there. We got to try to
came out at the beginning of this.
The beginning. I know. Yeah. Nintendo Land was the game that was, that I guess kind of wanted to be Wii Sports, like a Wii Sports type of game, where it would be a phenomenon and everybody would want a Wii U because of it. It wasn't that, but I think for the long run of the Wii U, the play was, man, well, this thing isn't selling. We can't put out Metroid on this. We can't do that. Oh. And I think a lot of people understood that at the time.
I forgot Wii Party U. They also released Wii Party U.
Wii Party U.
Four, and then also Wii Fit U, which you can say that's like a type of mini game.
Wii Fit or Wii Sports.
They put out
Club garbage.
This was all within the first 2 years of the system. So I'm looking at that, and they had some good stuff too. I liked Wind Waker HD. I thought that was really good. I liked Sonic. Sonic Lost World. I thought it was good. But other people hated that game. Huh?
Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD. If you're gonna port something, port that. Everybody wants GameCube games on the Switch right now.
Like
everybody wants them.
I don't
virtual console.
I don't like to talk about subjective, like in terms of what people want. And I think there's a lot of people that say, oh, I want Hyrule Warriors, or oh, I want Bayonetta 1 and 2. Those. I think there's people that are out there that say, yeah, I want Bayonetta 1 and 2 is really good. Port that, or port Hyrule Warriors, that's really good. Or port, what else did they port this? Or port Pokken Tournament, that's a really good game, right? Or port Mario Kart. I think they're just picking games that they think people will buy, and they or sold really well, and they put it, or didn't sell very well. Like Bayonetta didn't sell as well as it should have. Hyrule Warriors didn't sell as well as it should have on the Wii U. Those games.
See, you can't blame Bayonetta on Wii U. A lot of people do, because if you look at Bayonetta's the original one sales on 80 million install base, it didn't do well.
I've made that same point.
Compared to Wii U.
It didn't do as well as maybe it could have done. That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't do as well as maybe it could. Which Bayonetta underperformed. And the only reason why Bayonetta underperformed, though, by the way, which is also because of the PS3 version was just jacked. That was also a problem with the sales. The PS3 version was just.
But the PS3 version actually sold better than the 360 version.
It did because of the Japanese audience. A big chunk of them, obviously, the Xbox 360. But I agree. And I made the same point as well. Like, Bayonetta should have done better. relative to like the sales compared to the install base, Bayonetta did great on the Wii U, but. Nintendo's like, well, Bayonetta 3, they invested in Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3's coming out, so we might as well just get these other ones, going as well. So, to me, I'm looking at that. Nintendo helped out with distribution and stuff like Dragon Quest Builders, which, that's an older game, but man, that game is really good. I had a lot of fun with it. I think that game is super good. So I'm just looking at, everything in terms of just like the overall scope, not just first party, but them working with third parties to get certain games or get exclusives or to get things inside the games. And overall, I think it's pretty great. I'm not going back on what I said before, saying that you can't demand more, which, heck, I still think that Nintendo could do more. I still think that Nintendo could do,
it's like, I don't like being in this situation. I love Nintendo. Nintendo is my favorite gaming company on the planet. I would rather be saying really good things about them all the time. But, and I feel like a lot of people are doing that because they don't want to upset their audiences or whatever the case may be. And I can't, in my heart of hearts, I can't do that.
Are you talking about users or are you talking about content
enough of a
creators?
salesman to do that.
Are you talking about users or are you talking about content creators?
Both. I've seen plenty of channels.
I'm looking at all the content creators, and pretty much everyone is mimicked kind of the same stuff that, or not mimicked, but said kind of what I've said in terms of all the, like, you talk about like mid-range or mid-size YouTubers, and pretty much everyone said Nintendo needs to get better with their online, but then they also said, oh well, I enjoy Octopath, I enjoy Smash Brothers, I enjoy blah blah blah, or they make the same argument that you're making and say, oh well, 2018 wasn't as good or blah blah blah, but hey, we got
I've seen Commonwealth Realm do that actually. I applaud them.
But they're looking at like the 2019 lineup with Animal Crossing and with Pokemon and with all those Fire Emblem, and they're saying, hey, well, they're still announcing new games. We're still getting good games. We're still getting more third-party support than we got.
You can still have a stink eye for certain stuff, but you still enjoy other things. Like I don't have this overall hate. I love my Switch. You follow me on Twitter, you see me when I'm traveling for business, whatever. My Switch is with me. That's the coolest thing in the world. Like that's what I've always wanted that since I was like, I don't know, 8 years old, to take my console anywhere. That's always been a thing. So that is the coolest thing in the world. But I can have a stink eye for other things that I don't like and still enjoy the things that I do.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't like about the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but here they are sitting right there next to me. I got an Xbox One X as well, a $200 Xbox One X. But to kind of finish this one up, when it comes to, like I said, I guess, when you see, like, I see users, like if you go to Nintendo's online, they're the Nintendo, anything to do with Nintendo Switch Online, people are making a big, stink about that. You content creators are. I mean, I don't really see it as much. There's some people. Well, I think the biggest thing is that some people have to realize that some people just don't care. Some people just don't. They don't care about sitting there and saying, "Hey, come over. Hey, you want to," like, messaging like people on a clunky
and that's fine. I have no problem.
I think,
I was one of those people on the Wii U. I was fine with that. I had no problem with that. Just stay in your lane. Don't tell me what I should like and do. That's my only issue. Yeah, I don't care what you love it.
Is there a lot of people,
love it? I don't care.
Is there a lot of people though saying that you shouldn't say those?
I get a lot of people every time I
think
have a naysaying video.
I think most people agree with your point though. Like, I mean, I don't think we should live in a vacuum, like where it's just like, okay, well, if 40 people, Mizzah, you got 6,000 subscribers, right? But if 40 people come to your channel and say, this, and like I said, oh man, Pokemon fans are crazy. You know what I'm saying when I say that? But is it like all of them? No, it's just there's certain people that will come there and say the same thing or whatever it is. But most people, I can sit here and say, probably agree with what you're saying. Most people will probably agree with what you're saying. So I don't really think, to me, it's really content creators and people just being, oh, well, everything's just, honky-dory with everything. I think I've seen so many users complain. I've seen way more users complain than say it's fine on videos. Like if somebody says, oh, okay, well, the Nintendo Switch Online is okay. I've seen far more people complain on content creators about it than people who say, oh, everything is fine. In my opinion, from what I've seen, and that's based off of just like the comments on Nintendo Switch Online, right? Like anytime Nintendo uploads, just like 5 billion comments of people complaining and nowhere near but nowhere near as much positivity. So I think when a few people, especially for like a channel like yours or a channel like mine, if 100-something people come to me and say, oh, well, your opinion on Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm going to be like, yo, that's all of them, and I'm going to sit there and say that. But then at the end of the day, like if I look through all the comments, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's a lot of people that were saying, that were okay with what I said. Or if you look at like Pokemon Let's Go and the way that the game did, the sales-wise or reviews or whatever, oh, it's actually not too bad. People were fine, So it makes it seem as if everybody hates something. But at the end of the day, you look at it like, oh, wait a minute. No, it's not necessarily as bad as what I originally thought. So I don't really think people are really angry too much at your points. I mean, what was the like-dislike ratio on your video?
Well,
it wasn't
higher than, no, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely, you could tell it was definitely a shift.
Yeah.
It was high. And again, I don't care. I know these things are going to happen, but I'm not say what I feel because of that, but
and don't, because you had more more likes than dislikes. So
yeah, I mean, I just, my thing is, and I'm not saying again, not you directly, I don't like to be dismissed. I don't like my opinion to be dismissed. I don't like anybody's opinion to be dismissed, not just my own. I just feel like, for the most part, when if somebody gets on a video for 25 minutes and they say some things, I think they're speaking it from the heart, and that's the kind of stuff I want to see. Even if I don't agree with you, I'm like, hey, that's a passionate dude. He, I may not agree with everything. And there's people in the comments that have done that. I don't agree with a lot of what you're saying here, but I agree with some of it. And that's how it should be. Not, no, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Like that. That's the kind of stuff that bothers me. I don't mind people disagreeing with me.
Okay.
I mean, it's the world we live in.
going forward, I'll try to make sure, because it seems like, I kind of came off that way, with certain things. Going forward, I'll try to make sure that I don't come off that. But also, I'll also say, guys, whenever I do like my videos, if I talk about like, hey, this is what it's usually based, like a normal video, it's usually based on what the information is available to us, unless I say, hey man, I'm speculating on this, or I don't know about this. But I usually do a pretty good job of separating those two, or actually bringing up an article like where it says something or an actual topic. And I'm speaking to my audience here when it comes to those things, but I'll make sure that I clearly separate the two. But my thoughts on like certain things when it comes to like ports or whatever, like with the whole not affecting, the new games, it's based off of, who I've spoken to, which you guys don't know, which is fine. But it's also
my goal,
the information that we do have. So
my goal is not to tell you how to run your channel, because I want nothing to do with trying to tell somebody how to do what they do. Like, that's not my thing at all. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you what I interpreted from what you were saying. And
that's not what I was trying to
give you the context of.
Yeah. And I'm sorry about that. That's not what I was trying to say. I was just trying to say, based off of what we do know, and the fact that we got a game, I should have probably added the point about the Wii U dying prematurely. Mario Kart's just taking a long time to make in general. Mario Kart games just take long. This is just how I feel. They got a game that they can actually make in that gap for the launch of the Switch. Mario Kart 9 would probably take a lot longer to make. I just don't know if they can make a Mario Kart that size with all new features in that time, and that would be more speculation. But it was based just on based on just the information that we do know. I haven't seen it yet, especially like with the data miners. I mean, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, like, done forever. I mean, Yoshi done since December. I mean, they've got a bunch of teams. They're making a bunch of different crap. Sometimes they make external studios, like Bayonetta 1 and 2. That wasn't ported by Platinum Games. Like that, an external studio doing it. Bayonetta 1, that didn't affect Bayonetta 2's development. Bayonetta 1 was ported to the, I think it was like, I forgot what, Honeybee, or there was some Japanese studio that ported Bayonetta 1. That didn't affect Bayonetta 2's time coming out, to the system. And then they ended up putting both of them on the same game, on the same disc. So, I mean, I was just going off of base from at least the information that we know. I wasn't trying to make it seem as if people who felt differently,
And bottom line for me, like, do I want Nintendo to sell? Do I want their consoles to sell well? Of course I do. But it doesn't matter if it sells well if I'm not getting what I expect to get from them, especially based on it selling well. So that, that's my bottom line.
Okay.
Sales are great and all, but I can't play sales. I need quality content from you.
I guess, like I said, I'm different in whereas I see, based off of what we've gotten before, we're getting far more games. The sales are.
Oh, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. Yeah, so I'm not disagreeing with it at all. I'm just saying they could do better than what I've been seeing. What I saw, at least in 2018, I felt like they could do better.
Fair enough point. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I want to thank Mizzah T. Mizzah T, can you link your channel in the chat? I mean, can you just type something so I can make you a mod, and then you can link your channel?
Well, I can link it in the. Just give me a second here. You want to do a what do you call it?
Because I don't know, if you're not a mod, then it won't let you post links. But you can post it, then I can just let it happen.
Give me a second here.
Before I go, Green Bull Wings, if you want to hop on and let me know how I'm very biased when it comes to Nintendo, I'll be more than happy to have you on. If you can make any type of factual statements when it comes to it and what I've said today or anything like that, be more than happy. Mr. T,
I'm gonna go ahead and post it in the chat here.
Yeah, Mr. T, you can bounce. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna answer questions from the audience. So I know you got a family and everything. So go ahead and thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, my man.
I'm going to my Nintendo fanboy podcast right now. So
okay, yeah. Juice is
it's about to happen. So that's where I'm going. I'll leave it in the chat though. I'll leave my link to
I'm
my
gonna
channel.
talk to you guys from as consumer standpoint because I see a lot of if Green Bull wins, I don't know who that is. He just comes in here, so I want to talk to him. We can talk man to man if he wants. All right, T. Thank you so much, man. I
Yeah, there
appreciate
it is.
that. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mizzah T's channel and check out his podcast, Juices Loose podcast as well.
Peace out, everyone.
All right, take it easy, T. All right, so I'll take questions from the chat. So Green Bull Wings, if you have any actual factual stuff in terms of I'm very biased or I'm saying not what needs to be said, feel free to list that. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dismiss your point. So I'll take other questions, but I would say no. I pretty much say anything that needs to be said on any of the other companies or on Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo. I don't bash Microsoft and Sony all the time. I'm not making a bunch of videos hating on them, so I don't really see where that comes from. I'm not making a bunch of videos hating on really anybody. I just say what I gotta say and I make content. I cover Nintendo because I like Nintendo games. Those are, but I don't see where I'm very biased with it. Like where? Give me some examples. Where am I? What have I said in comparison to Microsoft or Sony? I mean, I have all the systems, so please let me know. Hey OJ, is Switch really stronger than the Wii U? Yeah, it's stronger than the Wii U. You can tell just by the ports, like 720p on the Wii U, and they're 1080p on the Switch when it comes to like Mario Kart and other games. Am I gonna argue that? We always have a he said I'm very biased. He said I'm very biased. So I said, give me some examples to lead to that conclusion. I'm very biased. So I want to hear it. Because usually when people say very biased, that's in comparison to Microsoft and Sony. So what am I doing where Microsoft and Sony, where I'm like, am I bashing them over and over and then saying Nintendo, it's okay for Nintendo to do this or that? I want to know where it is. I've talked about Resident Evil 2 remake. I've talked about games that I like on there. I want to know. I want to know where it is. So, just watching your videos from the last 2 years. Well, why don't you judge me on what's going on right now? You're saying you're watching your videos from the last 2 years. Well, what did I say? Stop with the generalizations. What did I say? And guys, questions. What did I say? What's the problem? What have I done against Microsoft or Sony or against? You're saying from the last 2 years. What am I saying now? Tell me what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? A year ago, I was kind of fat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fat now. I got plenty of muscles. So people can change. People can do different things. In 2 years from now. So let's hear it. What am I saying? Not at this point. Unless you want to go back and talk to 2016 or 2015, OJ. You want to talk about right now, the present? Feel free. Yo, OJ, how many GameCubes duct taped together would equal the Switch's power? How many About maybe. It'd be a lot of GameCubes. It'd be like 30 GameCubes, maybe 20 something. Because I know like 6th generation to 7th generation, that was about 20 times more powerful from what I understand. So it would take a lot more GameCubes, right? So basically, yeah, show some receipts, my man. Bro, I still watch you every single week. No, bro, I'm not asking you to say I still watch you every single week. I'm saying I'm very biased. I'm telling you to tell me something in particular so we can discuss it. You're saying I'm very, not just biased. You're saying I'm very. So that's fine. If you want to have that opinion, you can have that opinion. I'm simply asking for you, like, well, what is it? What have I done? Usually when I see people that are very biased, they're out here bashing Microsoft and Sony and propping up Nintendo, or they're out here bashing Sony all day and they're propping up Microsoft. If they're out there bashing Microsoft all day and propping up Sony am I doing that when it comes to the channel, or am I just covering the games that I love the most? I cover JRPGs, I cover action games, I cover those games I'm excited for them just as much. I haven't even mentioned the fact that RE2 is not on the Switch. I don't care. So you're saying I'm very biased. Well, wouldn't my bias create me saying Resident Evil 2 needs to come to the Switch no matter what because I'm very biased and I want it? I haven't even mentioned that. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? When a game comes to Switch, it comes to Switch. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, there's certain games that I want that more so than other, but I'm not going to go crazy and be very biased towards it. So give me some examples, my man. Exactly, he's moving the goalpost. It's not about ignoring. I want to engage my community. If he's saying here that he comes here, he's not being disrespectful. He's not calling me names. So it's not about ignoring. He could be a hater. He could not be, but he's not calling me names. He's not, he's not being very negative in terms of language is bad. So I'm going to address him. Thoughts on people saying Mr. X makes Resident Evil 2 too hard? Yeah, I mean, that's I mean, I can see why some people are saying that. Some people don't know how to get past it. And what have I Green Bull Wings? What have I what have I not pointed out from Nintendo's mistakes? What have I not pointed out from right now? What have I not pointed out? What is Nintendo's mistakes that they've made recently that I have not pointed out? Feel free to let me know. What have I not pointed out? Give me one thing that I have not pointed out. Give me one thing. RX Gaming says, bro, I skipped the Wii U and got me a PS4. Then the Switch came out and my PS4 and I stopped using it. Like, bro, I have more games on the Switch than PS4. Well, that's for some people. It's subjective in terms of what you like. You know, it's subjective. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you guys have any questions, just tag me at PlayerEssence or hashtag PlayerEssence. Be more than happy to answer. He said a lot of things that the haters say are just designed to trigger people. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I'm not sure if he's trying to be a hater or not. And I'm simply addressing it to the best of my ability. Because I think this is good. I think it's good to do this because, one, he can sit here. I mean, because that opinion is out there, right? It's not just him that's saying it. That opinion's out there. So then when somebody comes into my chat that I've never seen before, I don't know who Green Bull Wings, he doesn't come into my streams normally, or I'd remember that name and everything. When somebody comes in and they want to say, oh, well, you do this. I say, well, tell me what I've done. And then they start moving goalposts, and then well, tell me what I've done. I just want to know. That's it. I'm not saying that is he wrong? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, what is it so I can correct my whatever issue that you're having? What is it so I can correct? Omega Chase says, Parsons, have you gotten to the end of RE2 Remake It? Not yet. If you watched my video that I made today on RE2, I'm about halfway through Leon's campaign. If he wants me to bash the crap out of Nintendo, I'm not going to bash the crap out of anybody. I'm just going to say what I say when it needs to be bashed, or when it needs to. I'm going to say, hey, this needs to get better, and I'm going to say it normal and calmly. This needs to get better if it needs to get better, and that's that, and which I've done multiple times. Okay, so you basically you said there's a lot, but I'm not going to get into things. You don't have anything, so I'm just going to ignore you from now on. Thank you for coming to the stream, but it's okay. You're wrong, Green Bull Wings. It's okay. It's okay. You're wrong. You're saying there's a lot, but I want to. You say you watch my videos all the time, so if you watch my videos all the time, and there's a lot that I say that I don't say anything about, what is it? Let me know. So I can stop. Obviously, you're taking issue with what is it? What is it that I've not said? I just want to know. Just give me one thing. Give me one thing that I haven't pointed out. I just want to know. Just give me something. Just give me anything. I want to get better. I want to get better, man. I want to get better at my craft. I want to do, like, when people say, hey, OJ, I don't like your crappy backdrop that you have for your videos. I say, you know what? Let me try to see if I can do something better. When people say, hey, OJ, like, you're not doing enough topics in your videos. You're only doing 3. I say, okay, let me get better. Let me do 5 topics per video. Let me get better quality editing. I want to get better. So let me know. Let me know. Matthew Hammond says, I have seen everyone mention that 32 gigabyte cards are cheaper, but is there any evidence that this is the case? The only evidence that this is the case is the fact that Final Fantasy 12 is going to be released probably on a 32 gigabyte cartridge, and that it's coming over here to the West on that one, from what I understand. So yeah. Kudo Tengetsu with a $5 or $2 donation. Shout out to Kudo Tengetsu. Good to see you here. And he says, would you play GT5 OST Dark Line Shitoshi Bando? Yes, I can play that for you. Absolutely. Give me just 1 second. Let me switch over to, actually, no, the camera wouldn't pop up if that was the case. Yeah, the camera would not pop up, so I'm not going to switch over to that. Let me go ahead and just YouTube, and let me type in GT5 Dark Line Satoshi Bando. So I don't think Green Bull Wings has anything, to be honest, man. Is it you want the jazz version or the regular version? There's all sorts of weird versions, dude. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoy the music. You guys let me know. Is it too loud? Not loud enough? Let me know. There's some good music to talk on a podcast about. You're not playing enough Buck Bumble. You see, I'm only a Nintendo fan because Sega stopped making consoles. Oh, not an Xbox fan. And I like OJ. I got a PS4 for Infamous. Yeah, I got it for Infamous and also Last of Us. Omega Metal Chase says, "Questions. I think I haven't watched it yet because I might have missed it. I'll ask on your opinion and resign a William G. Birkin design choice. At first I was disappointed, but I like it. Okay. Music is just fine on my end. All right, cool." Mr. Pete X85 says, "Questions. Looks like a new Metro skipping Steam. I'll be on the Epic Store. Happy to see competition in PC space." Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. T Pianist says, "Just got in here late." Yeah, you kind of missed it. You missed it. Missed it. Green BS or whatever his name is a bad faith actor. If he had anything of note, he would take it up. So yeah, I think at this point we can all just kind of ignore what he's saying. He doesn't have anything of note to say. And like I said before, and I'm not trying to be mean, but let's just be real here, guys. Not everybody is intelligent enough to comprehend everything that goes on in videos. So not saying that that's a bad, not saying that like he's dumb or anything, but yeah, there's a lot of times where like I say things that are a bit nuanced and people just can't comprehend it because they just don't think complexly enough, and at times the videos can be complex with multiple different type of topics, and they hear something and it triggers them to say, oh, this person's this, and they can't think through that. So I mean, that could be the case here. I don't really know. I'm not saying it is, but that does happen quite a bit, and that's the reason why T gets hate for his videos too. It's like some people just can't think complexly. Like they need to be like, when something gets a little bit too complex for them, or if they don't like something, they'll instantly just go in one track, which happens a lot on the internet, so it is what it is. Any other questions, guys? What's up, Andy? How you doing? Nintendo Game Talk is here. What's good? What's up, Andy? How you doing today, my man? Brian says, "Parsons, why is Nintendo putting Wii and GameCube games on the Nvidia in China, but not on the Switch?" I'm not really sure why they're doing that, to be honest. OJ, compare Anthem to Daemon X Machina. I can't compare those two games. They seem like completely different type of games, right? Player says, "What's your dark horse fighter to win Smash Tournament Genesis?" My dark horse fighter? My dark horse fighter would be like ZD. Or something like that, or like Light, one of those guys to win it. Who I think is actually going to win, I think it's going to be like Leo, Nairo, or Tweak. I cannot wait to get Videl and Dragon Ball Fighters from the eShop. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Omega Game Chase this person. Do you think in 1 to 2 years for the next Boundless Soft game, I'm getting close to beating base Xenoblade Chronicles 2 game after being torn to the Golden Country? Yeah. Is Salem a dark horse though? He top eight a major recently though. We're talking. Oh, well, so did ZD. ZD top 8 2 majors. Never mind. but Salem's already like won multiple majors before. I know it's Smash Wii U, but Salem's been around and he's won majors in every single Smash game since Brawl. Well, so like Brawl, then also Wii U. Or sorry, not Wii U. Brawl, Wii, and then Wii U. So I mean, he's won multiple majors. He's a multiple-time champion, So, but I see what you're saying. No, I definitely did not call. I didn't try calling you sly. I didn't try to call you dumb on the sly. No, not really. I just said that some people can't necessarily complex think through process all the information in videos, and it's tough for them to process the information and come to a reasonable conclusion based on what they just heard. Not saying that that's for you, but for the people who, not saying that's you, but for the people who come in and tell me I do this, and then when I ask them, well, why? What did I say? What did I do? And then they say, oh, well, you did it. And I say, well, what? And they say, oh, well, that one video. And I mentioned that video, and they're like, well, I'm like, what did I say in it? Oh, well, you said this. I'm like, well, no, I just said this for whatever reason. What's the problem? And then they can't think about it. I'm just saying that's what it is. Not saying that that's you. Not saying that you're dumb. I'm just saying that some people just can't process information fast enough and come to a reasonable conclusion. And that's all I'm saying. Not saying that's you. Just saying that it happens. Well, no, not really. It's not about people don't agree with me. I'm asking you to tell me what the issues there are. It's not about not agreeing. I said, well, put it in the chat. What is it that you have an issue with, my man? It's not about not agreeing. I'm asking you to bring up whatever it is, and you haven't done it at all. So no, don't try to make it seem to be like I only do it against people that I disagree with. No, that's not true. I just spent the whole podcast agreeing with Mizzah T and saying that his points are, there. So no, it's okay. Nice try though. I understand what you're trying to do. Nice try. So yeah, I don't know. If you keep on talking like that, maybe I am kind of say that you're trying to dumb. I don't know. Maybe I am. If you keep on talking like this, maybe I will say that, because now, you're sitting here and you're making accusations that aren't true. So yeah, I think that this will be the last time that I address you though. Let's see here. Gamer Bro says, Parsons, do you think a port of the Wii Sports Resort on the Switch could work? I really missed that game, and an HD port would be amazing. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done giving him the time. He's been nice and he's been cordial enough. So I'm kind of done at this point. It's getting kind of personal now, and he's taking it personal, and it's pretty obvious that he's taking this personal. I've never seen this guy on my streams or in my comment section, but I mean, like, it's pretty obvious it's getting personal now for him. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop it right there. Let's see here. Players, I'm curious what to think about that new DBZ RPG coming to Switch. Already people are saying it's going to Switch. It's too weak for it. I think it's definitely an issue that they would have, like, in order to get that type of game. Like, it looks like an open-ended type of RPG, that's been in development for 3 years plus. Because if you're looking at CyberConnect 2, they probably started working on it in around 2015 or 2016 once Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 wrapped up. Yeah, I think that'd be tough. It's not about being too weak. It'd be you'd have to get another team on it. You'd have to get somebody who can do a good job, unless you want a crappy port or a rushed port, and you don't want that. So it's not that it's too weak. I mean, I think that it could get it. It's just not going to happen when the game was been in development for a number of times, and development is already hard enough as it is, when it comes to it. But maybe it comes later. Maybe it comes later down the line. I'm looking forward to trying it out. CyberConnect 2, though, not necessarily the best with gameplay, but we'll have to wait and see. Are your expectations higher than usual for the next Direct? Not really. No, not really. My expectations are my expectations. Whatever happens. Do you think Metroid Prime 4 delay announcement caused us to not get a Direct in January? It could be. I'm not 100% sure. RX Gaming says, it's funny how people hate on Nintendo when they are doing good, but when they are doing bad, no one says nothing. They don't want to see Nintendo winning. Well, I don't know about all that, man. I mean, I just think it is what it is. I'm not gonna say it's one way or another. Shout outs to, is it Boogeyman? Shout outs to Boogeyman or Boogie. I don't know how to say that name. What's up, man? Thank you so much. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village of Player Essence. Everyone in chat, please welcome my man to the channel. Appreciate that. A room M says, Parsons, do you think if there is enough demand in the West, Nintendo steps in to help localize Yokai Watch 4? The Yokai Watch 4 is going to be localized. It's not even about demand or not. There was like literally no demand for the other Yokai Watch games, and Nintendo localized those for level 5. So Yokai Watch 4 is going to be localized. 1, 2, and 3, and like Busters and some of the other ones were localized here in the West. So there's no reason why Yokai Watch 4 on the really popular Switch wouldn't be localized. There's a system update. Is there really? Is that 7.0? Is that 7.0? Tell me it's 7. Okay, 7.0 is up. What does it do, though? 6 new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe icons. Additional language support. Oh my god. Oh my god, somebody call that. Dude. Yeah, that's a horrible. That's not good, Nintendo. That's not good at all. 7.0's up. We got some new Super Mario Bros. U deluxe icons. Yeah, language support. Language support is good. That's good. That's really good. Chinese, Korean, and Taiwan. And then general system stability to enhance the user. I don't see why this is 7.0. How is this 7.0? How is this 7? I don't understand how this is 7.0. I think anytime Nintendo adds a user icon, they will think that it's like the biggest thing in the world. Oh my gosh, this is so silly. Shoutouts to Kudo Tengetsu 91. It says requesting, let's see, requesting GT5 like a bird, Kibo Lounge music. So yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. Shoutouts to Kudo Tengetsu. Thank you for the $2 donation, homie. I just said that this is not good. I just said that. So what else do you want me to say? I just said this is not good. They shouldn't do it. So I don't know what you're talking about, my man. Just said that, but that's okay. GT5 like a bird. Okay, here we go. I think I found it. So yeah, I mean, kind of going back to, yeah, definitely not a great update. I don't know why that's 7.0. It's just not that great of an update. All they added was some icons. I mean, like I said, language support is always good for those who can't speak language. Obviously, that's good, but they need to add more than that. That's not that great of an update. But I'll have a video on it where we'll talk about it more. Let's see. Dank Beam Center says person's favorite memories of the Wii Shop closing. I don't really have that many favorite memories, to be honest, man. I don't really have that many favorite memories. I would love some Xeno. I don't know why we don't have Xeno icons at this point. I think we need some Xeno icons. Player since I have 5 songs from Persona 5 to be in Smash. Which ones would you choose? They should put all of them. Also, Green Bull Wings donated $3. Says just to show I'm not a hater. I appreciate the, first of all, I appreciate the donation. Thank you. I don't think I ever called. I didn't call. I think maybe you're trying to prove that to the chat. I didn't call you a hater personally, and I gave you plenty of opportunity to, explain whatever disagreement, and you were saying and you didn't do so. But I do appreciate the $3 donation, my man. But next time, I mean, if you levy accusations or if you levy something against somebody, especially in a stream that they're streaming live and they're looking at the chat and everything, just be ready to say what it is. That's it. I mean, personally for me, even if I think one way about a person, I don't go out there and tell them that, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless I'm talking to them man to man, because I'm a man, I don't go into live streams and tell them things because I find that to be silly, in my opinion. I wasn't raised that way to go into live streams, people that are putting on entertainment, free entertainment, or whatever the case is, and say stuff like that to them and to talk bad about them. I'll never do that, but I get it. This generation is different. There's a lot of people that like to do that, and I understand, but I would never do it. But just if you're going to do it, at least back up what you're saying. That's all I ask for. That's fine if you feel that way. If that's your opinion, you can feel it. But if you feel that way and I ask you, like, well, what did I do? Simply just tell me what it is, And I think that's the reason why some people are maybe mistaking you for a hater, is because you're saying something, and then when you're asked, well, what is the problem? You don't want to list what it is. You say, no, I don't want to. I don't have time. Things like that. So, like I said, it is what it is. Thank you for the $3 donation, man. I appreciate it. What track is this? The track is Gran Turismo 5 Like a Bird lounge music. Jimmy Kimmel lounge music. Like a bird. Gary Rose says, I agree with you there. All right. They should just have all the music. So really there's no more patch notes? No, that's it. That's it. That's it, guys. So, we're gonna let this music play out, and then we'll go in and wrap up the stream here. RJ says it's a good day in gaming for the Wii shop closing. I don't care about the Wii shop. I don't care about the Wii shop. But I mean, it would be nice if it wasn't closing. I don't know. What indie game that has been announced are you looking forward to this year? Oh, Dragon March for Death. Digital World says there's supposed to be a 2.0 Smash soon. Yeah, I covered that. Yeah, absolutely. The legendary 7.0 update. Yeah, legendary. Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe icons, dude. That's... Let's sigh. He's not saying it's a good day for gaming. He's saying it's a big day for gaming. Oh, a big day for gaming because of a digital shop closing. Yo, shout outs to a room with the Toby. There you go. Buster. Let's go. Thank you so much, a room. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. With the $20 Toby Blaster, first one of the stream. That makes you the top stream ninja and all that. Although I don't have my layout to where you can do that, where it shows it. But you got the Toby Blaster on the screen, and your name is below. Your name is down there. So shout outs to Arum with the $20 donation, and it's just a $20 donation. Thank you so much, Arum. I do appreciate the Toby Blaster, my man. I really do. Thank you so much for starting off the week. Pretty good. Thank you. Yeah, I found out about the whole Wii thing a while back. You guys give some love to Arum M as well for the Toby Blaster. I really do appreciate that, man. Today's been a little bit interesting because, you know, I've always highly respect, you know, I respect Mizzah T and all that. And, you know, for him to think that I was talking down on him and that I was insulting his intelligence, man, that doesn't make me happy. I'll be honest. I was upset with that, you know, that Mizzah T would think, because I've known Mizzah T for years now, that he would think that I was doing that to him is unfortunate. But I got to make sure that I word things a lot better. That's the thing that I regret with the video, I guess, is not wording it a little bit better, to where a friend of mine would think that I'm insulting them like that, you know, their intelligence and their opinion on that. So that's unfortunate. Worldwide estimates for Smash around 9.5 million without digital. What do you predict Smash will be at the upcoming investors meeting? I say 11.5. Yeah, I'm thinking around 10 million units plus, you know. Person, someone needs to hack the Wii eShop. Chrono Trigger is trapped on there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yo, what's up, Avatar Renchi? How you doing today, my man? Yeah, I don't think Nintendo would copyright that music. I don't think so. I kind of want to. I need to get a PE news. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and then I need to get a PE news video, PE news done for tomorrow morning. But I'll stay on. Why not? I'll stay on. You guys seem to be engaged, so I'll stay on more. So yeah. Not gonna lie, y'all YouTubers make me want to get a cam and a mic, but nah, I don't need any fans, bro. I mean, David, you have a lot of good opinions. You're funny, good looking. I don't see why you don't get a cam and a mic, and just at least, heck, I mean, at least if you want to come on the podcast here, I'll be more than happy to have you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't want to, I mean, I don't know if you have a mic already, or you said get a cam and a mic. Well, you don't have either one of them then, right? Well, you could just use earbuds. You don't even need for a Google Hangout. If you want to hop on the podcast one of these days, man, I'd love to have you on, man. You're a good dude. You have funny, you know, you seem like you're very well versed, but then you're also really funny. So feel free if you want to do that. I mean, that's what some people do. Some people don't have channels or don't really do much, but they'll hop on with me. So feel free, my man. Any thoughts on Anthem? It looks definitely like a BioWare game. Looks like a BioWare. It looks like some mech suits. I mean, it looks cool. I'm gonna be checking it out. I'm gonna be checking it out when it comes out, because I'm a big BioWare fan. So I'm good. Players, just finished working on my profile pic. Yeah, you got a new profile pic. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, if you ever want to make YouTube videos, let me know, man. DM me. I can help you with the channel theme and all that stuff. You know, what you want to do. All right. Gamer Bro says, I'm challenging myself to play every character 200 times in Smash, but most played right now is Snake with 130 something. Wish me like, yeah, you're definitely gonna need. I haven't played with every character. There's a lot of characters I just don't want to use. I mean, and that's the reason why maybe I haven't got them to Elite Smash because I have to lab them, you know. Um, so yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny. Some people with this whole 7.0 update, they're like, no themes, no Smash icons, no folders, no UI update. Yeah, just this is just not. It's not a good update. It's definitely not a good update. Yeah, I would like at least some Smash icons would have been nice. I would have liked some Smash icons. I've yet to complete an Iron Man. It's tough, dude. An Iron Man's impossible in Smash Ultimate. Well, unless you're like a really highly ranked character, or I mean, or unless you're like a really highly ranked, like you know, like unless you're like a super competitive type of like tournament player that can like place, you know, all the time like at regionals. Dude, I think Iron Mans are extremely difficult for players who aren't up to the level of professional players because you have to deal with lag, you have to deal with, and then ultimately you have to deal with people, you know, because you're not going to be an elite smash for everybody. So you're going to have to deal with people who are playing weird rule sets, like if items pop up sometimes. I mean, yo, that's not a fun thing. I'll tell you that right now. It's not a fun thing. Um, the legendary 7.0 Switch update is a normal mode for background security. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest things is like hackers, you know, but I don't think Nintendo should I don't think they should make it 7.0 if it like if it's a big security update. I mean, I get it's a big update for them security wise, but not for everybody else. I'm getting Kingdom Hearts 3 at 9 p.m. leaving to get my first line ticket shortly. Nice. I'll pick up Kingdom Hearts at some point. Do you ever think Switch will get themes like PS4? Well, it already technically has themes, but I see what you're saying in terms of themes, like dynamic themes and all that type of stuff. I would hope because Smash Brothers for 3DS, Smash Brothers, oh sorry, not Smash Brothers, Nintendo 3DS kind of had some themes, so I would hope that Switch would get it at some point. Kingdom Hearts 3 drops tonight. Yeah, 9 p.m. PT, 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's not kind of. 3DS does, and he didn't say dynamic themes like a PS4. Like he didn't say dynamic themes. 3DS has 100% has themes like normal themes like a PS4. Now does it have dynamic themes? No, it doesn't. Does it have themes? Yes. Does it have dynamic themes in terms of music? Yes. There's music that if you have a Smash Brothers theme, it'll play the Smash Brothers music, you know, on the 3DS. So that's there. There's all sorts of other types of themes too. There's just nothing that like moves in the background like a dynamic theme, but regular themes, yeah, it has that. The Nintendo Switch giveaway that was a while ago. What happens with the 3D the Super Mario 3D Land theme? Is there stuff that moves around in the background in that? I had a good run, then I lost with Sheik to a laggy Roy. Yeah, you're gonna get bopped when you're playing with if you're Roy. I think he means Roy. He means Roy as in Fire Emblem Roy. Usually, you don't call Roy as in Bowser Jr. Roy because those are just alternates. You know, you're just gonna like when you do an Iron Man, you're usually just gonna pick Bowser Jr. You're not gonna pick Roy. You know, usually. Not saying that's not gonna happen though. Um, let's see. Looks like Switch. Hold up. It says Mr. Pete says looks like the Switch guy said the keys were messed with 7.0 to slow down hacked firmwares. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. It comes down to firmware, like, making sure that like the hacking scene. That's what the big update is, I guess, for a hacking scene. Um, let's see here. The only thing that matters is the dark theme. Okay. Just see Game Explains video picture for the Switch update 7.0. All right, let's check it out. There's a moon. Oh, they have that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Nintendo Switch version 7.0 update tour. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe icons, new languages, and stability. Yay. Yeah, so heavy on the sarcasm with the title. Oh my gosh. Yeah, heavy on the sarcasm with the title. So yeah, absolutely, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff on Game Explain's part. I think everybody's probably thinking the same thing here. Like, yo, this 7.0 update, like, what's going, like, this is not good. This is not what we want. So I think everybody's thinking that, but what can you do? Yo, somebody hit me up for training this. Somebody just hit me up personally for like, somebody just hit me up because I used to be a personal trainer. Somebody hit me up like, hey man, do you still do training? Like, it's been like 5 years or something, dude. That's funny. I don't really do training like that anymore. What are your thoughts on former Nintendo third-party relations? David Baker moving to Xbox. It's cool. He moves to Xbox. Probably got a pay raise. I didn't say yes. Let's see. This was the same update for 5.0. Some other update that was just stability and icons. I think it was the same for pretty much like almost every single major up. Nintendo hasn't really had too many major updates that have. I mean, they've had some updates that have done some cool things, but there hasn't been like the big one that people really, 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 really want. Like with like the messaging and with the built-in voice chat or like folders. Folders would be good. Like we still there's no folders. So I mean, it's like I think that's really and like themes. People want folders and people want themes, and there's still not folders or themes. I honestly don't know what's going on. So yeah, man. Yeah, no Xeno icons. Yeah, no Xeno icons. You see, and then Gamer says at this point, I just want Xenoblade icons and folders. It's like, we're not gonna get voice chat, we're not gonna get messaging. Can we just get some Xeno icons, please? What's the thought process of new Super Mario Bros. Over Xeno at this point? I mean, I get it because Mario's more popular, but man, dude. Oh man. Yo, shoutouts to David Drayton with the Toby Blaster. Let's go. David Drayton with the $20.01 donation. It says, look at me. He straight up pulled the prizes right to become the top stream ninja. David Drayton says, look at me. I'm looking at you, my man. I'm looking at you. Type again so I can see another of your comment. Did I miss some of your comments? Tag me. Apparently it's very hard. Apparently it's very hard. I'm the top stream ninja. Yes, you are definitely the top stream ninja. You are definitely the top stream ninja. I would shift over to the other layout that we have, but I can't shift over to, otherwise it's gonna block the. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, it's gonna block. I'd have to shut down the whole Streamlabs, and which would end the stream. So, but thank you for the $20 donation, man. I appreciate that. I really do. I want a Ridley avatar, please. That's what we've all been waiting for. That's all. What we've all been waiting for is a Ridley avatar. What's up, Ataki? Firmware over expectation syndrome. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I expected. I know with the last update, like the 6.0 update, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be it. But with this update, I didn't really expect too much. I mean, I made a video on it. I'm saying, we'll see what we get. I mean, it could be something more, but nope. It was just. I mean, I guess for some people, adding language support is actually pretty big for some, right? That's actually huge for some people. So I guess it's all subjective, you know. Let's see. We need to message Nintendo Japan for some background folders and something else since Japan does not know what voice chat is. We need to message them. I think they already know what folders are. They already know what all this stuff is. They did it before. I don't know what's taking so long, to be honest. Let's see. Ridley's too big for an avatar icon. Let's see. Any chance of getting the new SD Gundam in the West? SD Gundam? I think it might be, but the Southeast Asia version, that one has English in it. So if we don't get it, you can always import or just download off their store. Just make an account, just download it off their store. Well, obviously, digital, not as good as physical, but it is what it is. Any other questions, guys? I'll answer questions for a bit longer. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate that. But yes, Ridley is too big for an avatar icon. He just can't fit. And gosh, Ridley players online, like man, they are the most annoying players. Like Ridley players, Roy Ungabungas online. But I can deal with Ungabungas because I can just shoot you with a laser, so. Bismo81 says, I've only been watching for about a month. What is the origin of the Toby Blaster? Yeah, I can tell you. So basically, what a Toby Blaster is, it's really the channel that I have here. It's based off of, like, the whole theme of the channel is I'm Hokage, Naruto, you guys are in my village. And anytime you guys help support, there's a jutsu that's unlocked, right? Over a certain amount. There's like a certain type of jutsu from the anime Naruto. So when somebody does $20, that's a lot to give. So you do something really cool. It's a jutsu of like blasting somebody because they blasted me with some money. So it's essentially just trying to translate it, make it fun for the users. Based on how much you donate, there are different jutsus for certain amounts. So it just ties in with the theme of the channel. Ninjas and village, all that stuff like that. It's really what it comes down to. Ungabungas are always slightly trigger me. Yeah. Yeah, Ungabungas definitely can be a triggering type of thing because it's like they just start swinging and then you have like Ike Ungabunga, which is more graceful than regular Ungabunga, and it's like, okay, well that's how Ike's supposed to be played. Like his play style is Nair Ungabunga, so it's like you can't. Sometimes Ike just pisses you off, and then like he freaking up air Ungabungas you, like always getting hit with this damn up air, dude. Like shout outs Bismo, thank you, man. How's my tea supply? I'm actually out of tea, but I'm actually starting to do more of the. I have this like B12 vitamin drink mix with water, so I'm kind of doing that a little bit more at this point. The B12 vitamin drink mix, different types of B vitamins drink mix. So I'm kind of doing that a lot. So yeah. Yo, what's up, G5? How you doing today, my man? What did David say? So y'all think Nintendo caters more to their Japanese base, their US base, or is it pretty equal? I think definitely Nintendo caters more to their Japanese. I think it's a little bit more to the Japanese base when it comes to system features and all that, because in Japan, a lot of people always rolling around with their cell phones, and I think in Japan they don't have a problem, doing cell phone type of stuff to connect. At least I don't think so. Obviously, I don't live in Japan. I don't see what Japanese users are saying and all that. But I think a lot of them are probably like, hey, yo, this app is cool. Like, I'm already using my cell phone for lots of things. I'm just going to go ahead and do this, with the really good Wi-Fi and the really good stuff like that. So it makes sense. But I think here in the West, obviously, it's not the same thing. So I think that in particular caters more to the Japanese audience. When it comes to everything else, like, I mean, I don't know, like games and all that. Obviously, Nintendo just makes games that are popular worldwide, so it just depends. But I mean, I guess overall would be Japanese based a little bit more, you know. Um, the new One Piece game, that means World Seeker, right? That's World Seeker. No, that's not coming to the Switch at this point. That is just PS4, Xbox One, and PC. But it got delayed. It was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed to this year. So yeah, Nintendo is a Japanese company actually, and a Japanese company at heart. They're definitely a Japanese company. They're not thinking always about when it comes to the West on things, you know. Which is can hurt and help them in some ways, you know. Yeah. So that's basically what it comes down to, you know. Guys, have any more questions? All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. I'm going to get working on a PE news video for you guys, a 7.0 update, and some other stuff. How late are you? You're extremely late. I've been streaming for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, David Drayton. Thank you, Arum. Thank you, Kudo Tengetsu. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, everybody who donated. I really do appreciate it. And we'll be back to regular PE Live. And also, we're going to stream Smash Brothers tomorrow. Streaming Smash Brothers tomorrow. And we'll be back to a regular PE Live as well. So look forward to that. Look forward to that tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll have fun making that 7.0 vid. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.